He heats up fucking wine in the microwave? The fuck you mean he heats up wine in the microwave, bro? That's crazy. That's not okay. That's not okay. That's like a I don't know, man. There's some like French or Italian guy who you just killed with that statement. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, man. So Bryan Mullins, you owe Fauci a watermelon. Watermelon stream next week, guys. Next week, okay? Next week, watermelon stream. Dude, what's up, guys? What's up? How we doing this evening? Are we doing okay? We doing poggies? We doing gamer, right? I think that video's on his pre-furry old channel. Yeah, so man, fucking Bryan Mullins. Yeah, I've said it before. Bryan Mullins is one of those topics that'll come up every now and again because, you know, new people come in and they have no idea about this guy. But basically, Bryan Mullins is a schizophrenic furry who has hot takes. He's kind of like one of those caricature channel, you know, like how Jar's like arms crossed, angry, blah 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 guy, right? This is like one of those arms crossed, I'm mad guys, but his like opinions are like, you know, like that video where the dragon's like, here's why child porn should be legal. Brian's like one of those guys, okay? Now, I also do believe that Bryan is actually schizophrenic, right? That is my belief, right? He also has a politics channel. I think he did a rant against trans people on that channel. I know he did a transphobic rant video. Oh boy. I looked at the child prostitute question video last time, but so and there's a lot to go with Bryan, right? But Bryan is actually like an actual crazy person. This is like it is so easy to tell that this guy is mentally ill, right? There's like a different ways. If you guys have ever experienced or like viewed schizophrenics on the internet, right? Oh, we're all doing this, man, this week. Right? But when you like, I don't, there's like a certain way that people who are mentally like an actual like paranoid like tinfoil hat wearer, there's just a certain way that they like make websites and make videos that just is this way, right? He was locked in a freezer when he was a kid, Diesel. Blame his stepfather, right? So, he reminds me a lot of the fucking, the Time Cube guy. You guys ever seen the Time Cube website? Here, I'll pull up the archive of the Time Cube website, right? Right, that's like one of my favorite, like, weird old websites, right? But it's like this really weird, like, long website with all this dysfunction on it, right? The only official site for Time Cube. And then, oh wow, the site is shorter than it used to be. Has somebody else taken this over? Wow, that's weird. This used to be really long. Who is still paying for this domain is the real one, right? But this used to be a really long web page that was like going over how today is actually 4 quadrants of a week and something like that. Time Cube is gone, I guess. Damn, that's crazy. But yeah, Time Cube was ran by like a crazy schizo guy back in the day. But Father Andrew, I keep tabs on Father Andrew too. You know, Father Andrew has responded to my tweets. For those of you that don't know, that's like another character like this. He wrote an entire Bible for his religion and placed it on Steam. I should actually go back around to Father Andrew. Maybe we go back around to Father Andrew this week too. Oh, I got a voice crack there, dude. You guys will like it. You guys will like it. Father Andrew's a funny one, right? But yeah, he posted his whole Bible on Steam, and basically he's trying to proselytize his religion through like Gary's Mod roleplay servers. It's yeah. Terry Davis kind of falls into the Terry Davis's visual language with the way Terry Davis would design things is the same way that the Time Cube guy designs things and the same way that Bryan Mullins designs things. You know what I mean? Right? Like, I don't know if there's like an art theory, like sociological study on this, but the way like an outside artist schizo develops art is very interesting. And there seems to be, it's Father Andrew schizo. No, I don't know about that. I think Father Andrew is like a Reddit atheist, and he's got like really. I'm not dissing Terry's name, right? Terry was very talented, but it is very clear that there's like a certain like visual through line that carries between each, right? But Father Andrew is like, we'll say Father Andrew. Father Andrew will be a good one. We'll go over Father Andrew, right? But yeah, man, the fucking roast games. Okay, so the roast games is a theory, internet, and it is a theory about how the United States secretly had children's asses cut off and eaten. And yes, that is something that is Bryan's theory of everything. All of Bryan's beliefs, if you've ever watched any of his stuff, are all based around that. It doesn't matter what his opinion is. It affects literally every single belief he has, right? This is like one of those quintessential schizophrenic theory of everything things where it's like, oh, the universe is controlled by mole people. Who was the guy who made the alternative internet that you covered months ago? Oh my God. That's a rough one. I don't know. I don't even remember who that is. Fuck.
On a scale of 1 to 10 Watty Foutists, how crazy is Bryan Mullins?
Fucking 10. So I forgot about this. This is another one of Bryan's things, right? Bryan preps his videos years in advance. A year. This video doesn't come out until 2026. I really would like to know and understand what the roast games is now, not in 40 billion years. Oh my God. If the roast games never happened at all. Well, sort by fuck, dude. Have you watched the roast game yet? Which roast game does a man even start with, okay? Oh my God, that's fucking insane. The post roast game theory with Detective Bryan Mullins, season 4. Check DMs. I'm here. I'm here in DMs. Oh, okay. Here we go. Thank you, KJ. Oh boy.
Hello, everybody. I'm Detective Bryan, and this very first case of the roast game theory is called The Old Country Home of Fort Mill, South Carolina.
You know what? And this is how I know this guy is certifiably crazy, right? Is that so? One of my favorite. So we've looked at like actually mentally ill schizophrenic people a few times on this channel. And one of the things they do is that they never explain what their theory is. They always jump right into the minutia and detail, assuming you already agree with them and already like understand and know what the roast games is. But yeah, for those of you coming in, the roast games is this apparent American-wide conspiracy that we kidnapped a bunch of children, cut off their asses, and then ate them at like Christmas dinner to basically avoid a famine in the United States. And then the United States covered it up, right? And it was an absolute genocide of the youth in America.
An old country house I knew and visited multiple times as a child, and growing up, my brother told me when I was young that this old country house was actually built in 1973. What I will be using to find real names of
Yeah,
every
Rita, crazy people assume you're already in their mind and understand exactly what they're thinking.
child that was slaughtered and eaten for not believing in Christmas is something that actually works. It is called the investigation calculation technique, which is similar to the forensic math decimal. But instead of finding the home of the slaughtered child just after finding the name of the child with the roast game death toll timeline, which to be specific is from November 17th, 1998 to June 11th, 2017.
Okay, so June. Okay, so basically, in that short period of time is when the roast games happen, right? That's a really important fact that Bryan is just leaving out. By the way, I do want to say this is a quote unquote season 1 of the roast games, and he's basically explaining it as if we already know it, and I just love that. I just love that.
It will be.
Yeah. The roast games is basically families eat their children as a Christmas roast as punishment for not believing in Christmas.
Different. I pick the house I see to investigate, then I calculate the built year with the year of 1998 by adding them together.
This is so loud.
The roast game death toll itself, which is 18,568,322. Then I get the first name of
18 million, over 18 million kids were killed during the roast games, guys. You gotta understand.
Next, by getting the child's middle name, I divide the decimal number I got the first name of the child from by the middle number of that.
Okay, all right, buddy. All right. So another thing that's real fun about these kind of guys, right, is that numerology plays a huge role, right? So he's taken like this equation and he's equated this equation to being able to solve the mystery, right? You know, when people prescribe a lot of value to a number, he's doing that.
Decimal number. Then get the middle name, but ironically, after you get the middle name of that child, you multiply that number to the second power, then divide that number by 2. Then you'll get the last name of the child. Once you've gotten the child's full name, you add up all 3 decimal numbers by the very first number of those decimal numbers. So you'll divide the total of those 3 added up numbers by the very first number to a young age.
Okay. I thought Poppy was gonna say Valium because I could use one. He lost me. Yeah, I gotta be honest. I don't really understand what he's on about here, too. I actually don't understand a single thing he's saying. It's
Then you'll fill in the gaps, like finding the actual birthday of that child and the death date, which, to be specific, the age of the child when that child was slaughtered is also the number of days.
Oh my god.
Weeks or even years after 1998. Like using the roast game as the event of what happened. The school that child went to that serves the specific house before the child was slaughtered and literally eaten as the Christmas roast, etc.
Okay. All right. So here's something that happened. Every time I like conspiracy theories, right? If any of you have been a fan or like followed me for a bit, you know that I have like this overwhelming love and appreciation for conspiracy theory. I don't believe in any of them. I probably do. We all do to some extent, right? Things we don't even think our conspiracy theories are. But one of the things that I always say in these conversations when we talk about conspiracy theories is how many people were involved in it. The more people you include in a conspiracy theory, the less likely it is to be true, right? So the world being flat is infinitely less understandable as a believable conspiracy theory because it requires so many people to be on the same page, right? Whereas something like the murder of Jeffrey Epstein is more believable because the amount of people involved couldn't be over like 100, right? But this would require like every single family in America in the 90s and early 2000s to agree to keep this quiet.
I did just that. I got the first name of the child that was slaughtered in that house. The first name was Damien. The middle name was Amber. And
Oh my god. This is absolutely schizo numerology, dude. I know that Bryan has like a thing for his name. He has one of those Google alert things for his name. Bryan, I would love to know your theory of everything. I mean this with no, I'm gonna laugh at it because you're not here. But I will be 100% honest and really frank with you. I can turn it off if you're willing to talk to me.
the last name was Hefner. I connected the dots, and I found out that he was 4 years old, was a Christian too, and went to Pleasant Knoll Elementary School.
All right. So I think if he just said his theory rather than just said he did a bunch of math and figured it out, I I'd honestly, like, this is ridiculous and I don't believe it. But I would listen to it more if it wasn't just I did a bunch of math and discovered everything. like the implication there is insane, right? Let's think about it, guys. If you could solve any crime by just doing a series of calculations, that is absolutely astounding, okay? Like, the concept that the entire universe could be explained solely by numbers, like a sociological event could be described just by numbers itself, is very funny.
Take a look at this photo. Damien Amber Hefner, born February.
Take a look at this photo. How do I know you didn't make this? This isn't like a photo. You made this, okay? Like this is all off center, okay? Fucking reason of death literally eaten as a Christmas roast after being slaughtered for not believing in Christmas. Okay, who's gonna tell him about Jewish children? How do we address the Jewish children who celebrate Hanukkah? Or Muslim children? Or, like, atheist families that were raising their child without religion? You know? Like, what the fuck?
21st, 1993, and died on November 22nd, 1998. As you see the rest of the photo,
That they literally can't be a photo, okay?
describes the specific description of where that child lives, of where that child has died. You know why?
Diesel asking to JQ, yeah, what happens if you celebrate Hanukkah? Do you participate in the roast games if you celebrate Hanukkah? Oh, honey, Miriam doesn't believe in Hanukkah. Time to get the roast out.
I felt really suspicious of this house because I've been there multiple times, and it's like something had to have died inside, literally. And this is the
Ash, very based, very based. The cyclical nature of memberships. Now, if you've got a membership, you must stay a member forever.
very child that died in that house. Maybe it decomposed right under the house.
Yeah, it got Rena and Makari, very based.
It's right in its fucking foundation.
Have you seen his latest video? Yes, I have seen his latest video. Yes.
I don't know where they put it. It's strange though. But there you have it. case number 1 of the
Okay,
roast
if I continue to watch all these case studies, if these are just him doing a bunch of quick maths, I'm actually going to burst out laughing. I'm gonna watch one more of these because I have a feeling all of them are the same. Okay.
theory, which the point of the theory is to identify the child who was slaughtered and eaten at
Okay, Brian, I want to understand the roast game theory, but it's hard for me to understand your theory when you do it through nothing but case studies, assuming I already believe you.
Hello, everyone.
How could this possibly include a paid promotion? What paid promotion is in this? Who's advertising on a Bryan Mullins video with 141 views?
I'm Detective Bryan, and this is the roast game theory, case number 2. And this is the house that is being investigated here.
Dude, it's just some yee-ass fucking Midwest American family's house, dude.
This is 2109 Lafayetteville Road.
Oh my god.
CJ celebrates 20 months of membership. Join the Little Guys Incorporated cult, never leave.
See, that guy, CJ's been in it for 20 months.
In Rockingham, North Carolina. I remember visiting this house during the time I used to live in Colorado.
Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, man. It's gonna be annoying to deal with this VOD because it's totally gonna get dinged. So this house is in Florida, but you visited it when you were in Colorado?
House during the time I used to live in Colorado.
Hughes Hood Ornament celebrates 16 months of membership.
To be specific,
I've been
nearly
here
the end
so
of two.
long. There's no escape. His video on Alaska's roast game started. The number of baby butts eaten in Alaska was 10 times the population of Alaska.
2009 on to 2010. This was probably just after Christmas of 2009. Well, before.
Nobody tell this guy that I'm part of the deep state, chat, okay? Nobody tell him I'm part of the deep state, all right? Listen, I just got my check from Lockheed Martin. I can't have you guys telling him those things.
This house I thought was built in 1970 turned out that this house was actually built in 1960.
This guy is not a real detective. You know, I've been thinking about this guy's videos, and I don't think he really knows what he's talking about.
64. I explained how I identify the child in the previous episode, where I have investigated a country house in
Me and Soros, we go way back. You know, we were at the last roast games dinner party together. You know, you gotta understand.
Fort Mill, South Carolina. If you want to see that video, the link will be in the description down below. I found the first name of the child.
Oh my god, it's the same thing. Oh no. Roast Games Theory, case number 2. First name of child, James O'Gill Abbey. Date of birth, 1990. Date of death, November 17th, 1998. Cause of death, literally eaten as a Christmas roast. Wait, what? So so the kid was killed in November and then not eaten until Christmas dinner for not believing in Christmas. And then
As you can see, the full name of the child. The date of birth, February 16th.
Like, okay, listen. I'm not a cannibal, but I feel like if I was a cannibal, I wouldn't want my meat sitting around for a month. You know what I mean? Like, if I... This is like the biggest Fed post ever. I'm joking. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking. I'm not a cannibal, but is totally just the worst thing you could ever say. Like, if I were... There's no way to not make this sound crazy. I'm sorry, I can't even get through it. It's so stupid. But if I killed a person and I'm going to eat them, wouldn't I want to eat them while they're freshest right after I kill them? Because, like, wouldn't the meat get tough if I let it rest for a long time? Like, rigor mortis will set it. Like, all these things you don't want to happen would ruin the meat. So, like, if you kill someone, you should eat them right away for maximum freshness. You know, farm to table behavior.
The kid.
Well, then that's not a good Christmas roast. Oh my god. No, instantly in the ice chest. I don't know, man. I feel like, you know, it's just a lot to deal with. You know, I gotta have all this space to put the body. This is JF posting, actually. Yeah, but you need to have a freezer big enough to fit a small person.
1990. And the date of death, ironically, or coincidentally, November 17th, 1998. The cause of death, as always, literally eaten as a Christmas roast after being slaughtered for not believing in Christmas. In the school this child went to before that happened, Washington.
Giga Foods aged kid ass and Worcestershire sauce for a year, and this was the result in 1998. No, but he already said that 18. He said, okay, so I got a link, right? How much food will be wasted on Thanksgiving, right? And so on Thanksgiving, a wasted turkey alone is about 8.2 million whole turkeys, about 4% of all the turkeys in the United States, right? But what the problem is with this kind of statistic, right, which could be the statistic where he got it from, but what he said earlier was that 18 million kids were eaten, which is close. It was something like 18.2 million kids. So I guess that is close to what it could be, right? He just added on the extra one there. But 316 million pounds of food. Damn, that's a lot. Maybe you could pickle brine the meat. Guys, we can't talk about the logistics of how we're going to eat a child, okay? Like, I know I encouraged it, but... Yeah, the fan fictions are on the list. The fan fictions are on the list. Yeah, 18 million is like 5% of the US population. Okay, listen. If 18 million kids all vanished over a Christmas dinner, right? I feel like that would be recognizably visible on the country's demographics. You know, like, have you ever seen those demographic charts? I feel like we would see it on the chart. You know what I mean? Literally 1984, can't even talk about eating children. God forbid Chad has a hobby. Oh my god. Okay, so this is all case studies of him talking about the fucking roast games, right? So hold on, let's search. If I search the roast games, I'm gonna get like literally a billion different things. Oh my god. There is so much stuff here that it's completely like this guy has put out more content than most YouTubers. All right. You know what's stopping a YouTuber from being successful? How mentally ill they are. All right. The more mentally ill you are, the more successful you can be. Hold on, I'm being fed the details. What the fuck? The house is real? He can't be just putting people's addresses in these videos, dude. Oh my god. Roast games. Is this okay? I have a feeling this is gonna be the same thing again.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Season 2 of The Roast Game Theory, with me, Detective Bryan Mullins the Fox.
Yeah, I'm having some connection problems, but it's not on. Well, it is on my end, but that's because my internet is ass. So hopefully it stops eventually. So we will see. We will see.
For the first case of the second season, we're going to be looking through this house. This is 3177 Adrian Drive in Jackson, Mississippi. It's a home built in 1958 with 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms. Includes a family room, extra large dining room, an eat-in kitchen, and a large-sized backyard. And this is a slaughterhouse. And the name of the child that has been slaughtered is Chase Gage Eam.
So he's just making this like, where do the names come from? That will get better internet. You see, the problem is that I'm in the middle of nowhere, and so as a result, this is how I live. You know, it's very difficult to be me.
I don't know if this has been said, but this sounds like a modest proposal.
3-year-old boy.
I found another number that was close to his 18 million number, put out by the Missing Children's Project. The 1998 annual report. Either way, this would have to be very skewed. Like, there's no way. So it would have to be it couldn't be, it would be kidnapped, lost, or missing child. Okay. So you think it came from this? Move into a metropolis. What the fuck? Have you guys seen the rent prices these days? By the way, I just checked my stock portfolio after Liberation Day. Motherfucker, I got liberated from my money, dude. It was bad. Being an influencer is harder than the 9-to-5 diesel 2025. Listen, guys. I would have moved to New York City already if they fucking built more affordable housing there, okay? Jesus.
That was born on May 10th, 1996, and died.
No, Diesel, why did you look?
On February 20th, 2000. He was essentially shot in this room, right by where the couch used to be. It is blood, because from this point of view, it has a purplish, reddish, black color. It cannot
Okay. All right.
not be dirt or soil, because even red clay isn't as dark or as purplish or blackish as the stains that are seen in this photo.
But hypothetically speaking, could this be a rug? And that the rug was stained by modern means? Mana Potion is good. We are trying to fight raising our prices, I will be honest.
In another photo, like this one, closer to the top right corner of the floor, you see where the child was slaughtered and left to die and decompose. Here's an extra factor to further prove that this child was slaughtered in this.
How's he know this? There's no way for him to know this. He can't. Was he like astral projecting? Like that other lady with the aliens and the fucking fairies that we covered a few months ago? Like what his brother told him. Bro, we're trying to add more housing. Eric Adams is too busy being corrupt. I mean, cleaning the streets.
house, measuring the image and finding the full-scale length of that decomposition stain. How do you calculate pixel size? According to auctionrepair.com, the formula is pixels divided by DPI.
Oh my god, dude. Dude, this guy's gonna autism his way into the Declaration of Independence with this stupid shit.
Equals inches. Here's the image size. The dimensions in pixels is 768 by 768. The horizontal and vertical resolution is 96 dpi. I calculated the size of the decomposition stain in 2 different ways. The first way is that I multiplied 7.
So, okay, here's the thing. What does... All right, you haven't proven it. You need to... Like, what is...
768 by 768. Then
Dude, it's gonna be wild when we find out in a few years that this guy has been cutting up children and eating them, and he's actually a cannibal. You know? This is like all him covering for it.
divided by 96 twice, which I got 64 inches. In another way, I just flat out divided 768 by 96, and I got...
Dude, this is exactly how they figured... This is exactly how they figured out the rate of tariffs.
8 inches. I added both of them up, then divided by 2, and I actually got the full scale length of the decomposition stain, which is 36 inches. What is the average height of a 3-year-old? Well, according to Disabled World...
This guy's internet history must be insane.
.com's average height to weight chart, it is 37 inches. He is 1 inch shorter than the average 3-year-old. And finally, on the Christmas of 2000, Chase Gage Liam was slaughtered, cooked, and eaten as the family's Christmas roast.
So, okay. All right. Okay. All right. So he was slaughtered and eaten by his family. So, hypothetically speaking, if a child is raised to adulthood and that child comes of age and then starts their own family, do the old parents come to that child and say, listen, when you have your kid, if he doesn't believe in fucking Christmas, you're going to cook and eat him, right? Like you need, like I'm trying to understand the mechanics of the conspiracy theory, right? Because here's the mechanics of the conspiracy theory for flat Earth, right? A pilot starts flying a plane. They go through all the process, go all through the training, right? They do all of it, and then they start flying. And then obviously when they're flying in the sky, they learn that, hey, there's no fucking curvature or something, right? So then they know the truth. So somebody from the deep state, I guess, has to come to them and then give them money to be like, shut up. Shut up. Don't say anything. The world is round. Don't tell anybody that the world is flat. Here's money for keeping it quiet. Right? So, like, how does that work in the concept of the roast games? Because like all the parents got to be in on it. So like what happens generationally, what happens communally between the people, how do you keep it quiet? That's what I want to know. How do the roast games roasters keep it quiet? Right? Like a lot of conspiracy theories have an answer for that, but this one, threat of death, I suppose. But this is presupposing that every family has parental cannibals, you know? Yeah, I think all the houses are real houses.
Meaning that this does confirm that this child was slaughtered in this house. Chase Gage Ian. I am Bryan Mullins.
And also, so where do the names come from if he deliberates the names via numerology, right? So if he's figuring out the names by doing the math, it's the Christian cabal. I believe Bryan is a crazy atheist. I feel like 98 was the year we all found out about Catholic priests. Okay, all right. So then is the roast, but the roast games is an American event. He describes it like an American event, but the Catholic Church is a global entity. So are people doing the roast games in other countries, or is it just the roast games here?
Mullins the Fox.
Does he just go on Zillow and then make up an eaten child? Honestly, probably that's the reality of it, right?
Signing out.
I see your face before me in my dream.
98 was when D and I were born. Yes, and that was a million years ago, and now we are old people. We are elder zillennials. And one day we will be very old. I know there's an entry for Ethiopian roast games. Are you decaying yet, Grandpa? Dude, my joints really hurt today. No cap, for real, for real. Okay, so I guess the roast game theory with Detective Bryan Mullins. So these are all like roast game stuff. Okay, so I guess if I click on another one of the, I'll go to season 4, right? So these should be the most recent. Roast game entertainment. Dude, holy shit. Dude, I'm experiencing blah blah blah. I have seen this and wondering, would it be fair use if I done a reaction to another YouTube video, not profited it and gave credit? Would that be fair use? Okay. I want to see the. Oh, whoa. There's like a lot going on here. So it's roast game entertainment. The roast game entertain. Okay. The Evangelion opening. Dude, the Zillow flashing on screen really gives credence to that. He just went on Zillow and found a place. Dude, this is actually this is weird guerrilla marketing from Zillow, guys. I don't know, man. What does apartments.com think about this? Dude, he might actually kill me if this keeps going. Dude, you gotta be fucking kidding me. It's like a minute of him trying to induce a seizure. This is unironically like a fucking Family Guy bit. You know when you go see a movie and there's like 40 different people all sponsoring the movie, so it goes on a little long and you're like, you know you're in for it when the movie has like Shenzhen Media Company followed by like another media company, right? And it's like the regional government of wherever the movie was produced. Dude, it actually is over a minute of this. It keeps going. This is like an MK Ultra video, dude. I'm actually being my mind is being corrupted by this footage right now. It's completely like I can't read it. No, I stopped speeding it up. It's literally that nightmare clip.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, all right, Jesus.
I am Detective Bryan Mullins the Fox, and welcome to the 4th and final season of the Roast Game Theory.
Dude,
Before
the
I
final
go into
season.
Any further case, I will introduce you several things. Number 1, we'll start off with theoretical and investigative factors and tactics from Season 3, like determining the height, the age of the child, and the weight of a boy or girl.
Me flexing my brain muscles to figure out how tall a chatter is. I think that there's a chatter in the audience who is like maybe 5 feet tall, probably. Yes, a 5 foot tall individual in the chat. Do we have any 5 foot tall individuals in the chat right now? 6'4". Oh, 5'2", yes, 5'2". I knew that, Rocky. I was sensing an R somewhere out there, you know.
And
Interesting how all of you are under 6 feet except for Clouty. I do not think that is a coincidence. I believe I have predicted this correctly. Except for Q. I knew that Q wasn't short, actually. 7'10". All right. Go play in the NBA, you asshole. I'm 10'10". How tall am I? Don't avoid the answer. You should know. I think maybe 5'3", or close to that. Probably close to 5'3". Somewhere around there. Changed depending on footwear, possibly.
Number 2. I only have 25 cases left to investigate.
No. No, you're wrong. Check again.
And after that, I would have investigated 100 total cases. Yes, it took me years. Rome wasn't built in a day or destroyed in one. Number 3. The promos after episodes.
How tall are you, Diesel? Listen, you guys are the ones that are on the chopping block right now, not me, okay? All right, I'm 69 inches tall, so.
Number 4. I will try to find more soundtrack music to make season 4.
No, I don't want any more soundtrack music. You're making this a really dangerous thing to watch, buddy.
Spectacular one. Number 5. The finale will be a 2-parter. I've explained it before, and I don't want to repeat myself. And number 6. Parody logos are making a swift comeback, bringing back the nostalgia of season 2, mixing it in.
Okay. I like how he's treating this like it's just entertainment. But, like, the morbid humor of this is that he's like, guys, I know you guys have nostalgia for the past Roast Games videos. It's like, we're talking about the largest genocide of children in American history, and you're making a mockery of it? You're making a mockery of those children's asses that were eaten, buddy?
With the seasonal vibes of season 3. Alrighty, those were things I want to introduce to you before we begin our final journey on the next episode of Season 4 of the Roast Game Theory. I am
He talks like a robot. This guy sounds like a robot, dude.
Detective Bryan Mullins the Fox, signing out.
You're laughing! Those children are dead and you're laughing!
See you then.
He's done this over 100 times, guys. Over 100 times. Is it just a robot baby? Jar is quite literally my new Too Mad. Speaking of Too Mad mention, I guess, while we're at it. I honestly, Roast Games Awareness Month. The post-Easter Roast Game era, 2019 to present. Hold on. Let's just fucking... This is a lot of words.
Isn't necessarily a traditional centerpiece meat choice where we're done.
Hold on, let's just there we go. Diesel, he did a video about Jar. Are you fucking kidding me? I need to see that now.
Hi everybody, I am Bryan Mullins the Fox. Welcome to the month of October 2023, where we're done covering the topic of anything else anyway, and we're moving on to something else more important. Let's talk about statistics, because it's now...
Oh no. I know this guy's opinion on transgender bathrooms. I'm really worried to hear what he has to say about statistics.
the Roast Game Awareness Month. Although turkey isn't necessarily a traditional centerpiece meat choice for Easter, for both eras I will account for them as well, because some families aren't always traditional in the sense where
Dude, you go to Walmart and you see people walking around. This might be one of those people. Does that not horrify you?
everybody complies to tradition. Other statistics will be in the background. The main focus is, of course, the centerpiece meat. The methodology for ham consumption during the post-Easter roast game era is multiply the consumption per capita by the US population, then divide by 287.5 pounds, and then divide that by 14, as in 14 pounds. And for
Wait, why? Why are we doing the math on this?
each year, you'll have the answer. The methodology for turkey consumption, although
Sorry, I haven't been donating, Diesel. It's not you. I got hit hard by taxes this month. I don't listen. Nobody is ever required to donate ever.
uncommon, but still happens during the post-Easter roast game era, is multiply the consumption per capita by the US population for each year, then divide by 24
Dude, he's TQing right now, man. He's TQing.
pounds, divide by 16 pounds, the average weight of a
He's asking the turkey question.
roast turkey, and then divide by 10 for the average number of people a 16-pound turkey serves, like, for example, Thanksgiving dinner. Hence why the American Farm Bureau Federation accounts for the price by also accounting for the average number of people that
Untrue. I was told if I donate, I could get loose of these chains that bind me.
this said turkey serves. Of all the four
Average Uber driver conversation. This is when you hit him with the 1 star. I think this is a 1-star behavior, honestly. I'd be a little alarmed if my Uber driver used me as a captive audience for their schizophrenic conspiracy theory.
centerpiece meats: ham, lamb, turkey, and beef. Let's start with ham. Let's get into consumption statistics first. For 2019, 4,270,000.
So like obviously a lot of food is eaten in America, right? So like how did we have a famine? What caused this famine that led to the roast games era? Right? Like what is like, do they just do it anyway? Like, this doesn't answer any of the questions. None of these things answer any of these things, okay? None of these things answer anything. It's on his Bryan Mullins Fox Drama Archive channel. Okay. Oh boy, responding to Gilded Pooh the Predator / Groomer Defender. Oh my god. Good riddance to the Medicare forums. My take on Tonka Saw, dude. Holy shit, we're getting into the old shit here, dude. Holy shit. Leo Convoy mentioned. Holy shit. This guy is something special. Dude, he's not a big Leo fan, dude. He's not a big Leo fan. I'll type into words just the robot now. Hold on. I'll look him up. Why does that have just the robot there? Hold on. How will Leo recover? Let's type in the words jar. My thoughts on the whole Kumo jar. No fucking way that there is a playlist on this.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, it's a
I am
single
Bryan
video
Mullins,
playlist. Jesus.
the Fox for a Drama Archive exclusive short rant video of me giving and dishing
I cannot wait to hear what his opinion on this is.
out my 2 cents about the situation surrounding Just a Robot, Cinnibaro3, and Kumo. I can try my best to sum up the situation. Kumo and Just a Robot were knowingly simping for and defending Cinnibaro3, despite the fact that she's a groomer, she's a predator, and she's been exposed as such, despite their piffy and piss-poor defenses of her, especially when it comes to the fact that
I was honestly not expecting this kind of video from him. I was expecting something much different.
Kumo false DMCA'd both Melm and Flatley. He basically gave Lio
Oh my god.
Convoy a run for his money. And if by any stretch of the imagination, if Lio fucking Convoy gets some sort of redemption arc because of this, I will blame everything that happened squarely on Kumo.
What? Not Jar? Listen, man, Kuma was a major side character in that story. All right, I'm not underplaying his stake in that plot, right? But like, brother.
And Just a Robot, given that Lio Convoy has distanced himself from Just a Robot. And a redemption arc also implies completion, which I will predict that...
Well, listen, buddy, let's not talk about anything in completion with you, okay? I don't think I'm ready for that discussion.
Because of this, eventually down the line, no one will give a shit about shitting on Lio Convoy anymore, and he'll gain back all the subscribers he's ever lost.
I don't think Lio's lost any subs, really. I think Lio's been cringe. But he's slowly becoming uncringe. Granted, by the way, I thought Lio's fucking April 1st video on me was really funny. By the way, I thought that was really fucking funny. I'm not gonna not make fun of Zaid, and I'm not going to change my behavior, obviously. But for the most part, it was funny. Listen, Lio, you would have had the biggest dub ever if you just didn't add that extra part. But, like, whatever. I know that's part of your character, okay? So, of course, that's gonna happen.
Kumo made fucking excuses for her, false DMCA'd a couple of people.
This guy's more mad about Kumo than he is about Jar, dude.
Used the copyright system, and then left the internet like a bitch because he can't handle the truth and the criticism that he's been receiving.
Jury is still out on Lio, Diesel. Yeah, I know. He's trying very hard to be rehabilitated, though.
And Gilded Poo over here being a bitch, making his video about the whole situation going, why is everyone talking about the Cinnabear situation? Why can't people just stop and shut the fuck up about Cinnabear? Meaning that despite him not trusting Kumo anymore, he's gonna go with a piss poor defense himself. How the
This
fuck?
is like such like a I'm personally mad that these annoying people did things that made people I didn't like. I don't like. Why is he even here? Like, this motherfucker just showed. Like, why are you here, bitch?
Have you ever had the idea of simping for Kumo long before this? Meaning long before Kumo had to simp for and try simping for anybody ever do to anything. Just stop.
Why? He's more mad that they were trying to rizz up Cinnabear than what actually happened, dude.
Just stop simping. You're cringe. You're fake. Holy fuck. The people who shat on me for having to defend Mongrel and Gregala Chan in 2 separate scenarios.
I don't know who those people are, but I bet they suck. All right. Anybody you're coming to the defense of, I don't know if I ever want. Something has gone horribly wrong in the cosmic balance of the universe if you're coming to the defense of somebody, okay?
Times are the same ones who are gonna regret having ever respected Kumo.
Does this guy count as ACC? You know what? For the sake of comedy, there's a lot of overlap here, so yes.
Just a robot. Because guess what? Gregala and Rose, despite the fact that only one of them, Gregala, lied to me about Lio, they were victims of Lio's manipulation. And only
I'll go look at the weird wine microwaving thing after this.
Pooh can be such a fucking retard that he's gonna literally go with the same narrative Lio has against Mongrel and even Gregala, meaning that he's basically proven that there was a conflict of interest back in February of this year. And I fucking hope that there is a certain place in hell where Vlad can meet Lio there.
You know what makes drama even funnier? When you're tangentially aware of the people that are involved, but don't have any emotional baggage with them. So you could just sit there and go, oh my god, I know that guy.
Because Kumo did everything I've never done, ever, due to anything this year, or any other. And I don't care what your response is going to be. All of this drama was really fake at the end of the day, and
Fake! Fake!
quite frankly, if Lio Convoy fucking gains all the subscribers he's...
What? This guy is mentally fucked. What the fuck did Lio Convoy do to him that made him hate him so much, dude? Rent free, dude. Rent free. Lio Convoy is just sitting there rent free in his head.
lost this year because of shitheads like you. I hope he deserves a comeback and a bit of a recovery and stop doing this fake predator hunting shit. Because as much as I hate Lio Convoy for what he's done to me, I can at least...
He defended Saunter Blugget. Oh, Hamter Fuppen Shriel. Dude, it's a German ACC channel. Crazy.
have some inkling of respect if he goes the route I think he's going. Because as much as he hates child predators,
You know what? I had spent a lot, again, I know I talked about doing the woke games video. This guy is also worthy of a main channel video. This guy is fucking nuts.
Regardless if they're online or IRL, everyone can share the same sentiment. But we share different methods of how to deal with them or how to avoid.
Okay, so clearly the actual problem doesn't matter to him. All right, so it's Bryan Mullins, 1999. Okay. Oof. That's what he looks like.
I am so fucking done right now. I am so fucking... This is the hinge right now. I've had this for 3 years. What a
I
fucking
see it right
shitty
there.
design for a laptop, honestly. And my dad has said this too. What a shitty design for this old...
Brian might actually have I mean, yes, I think he
Brian
does.
actually might have psychosis.
I think he does. I think the system might have failed him, actually.
PC to have a touchscreen, constantly open it and close it like I do with any computer every single fucking day when I'm done with it.
Lio covered him in a stream while he was covering the drama. He was in the Fox Mafia. All this shit is fake. All this shit is fake. You're just making shit up off the fucking rip right now, okay? He was with the Fox Mafia, a guy called Cass War Fox's Discord server. Okay, well, you know what? I go outside and shop for groceries, so...
Or when I could get back to it,
Brian
this Horizon
lives 3
Blue
miles from my childhood home.
HP Pavilion did not even crash even once. Not even once. So, this is the second time that it has failed to update or install updates. From May of 2020, from November of 2020, my morning didn't start out right. I only got between
Discord servers.
nearly 6 hours of sleep to almost 6 hours of sleep. There you go.
Dude, he's ulting. You know, I really didn't picture him as like a chunky, fat white guy. I pictured him as like a gangly, spindly little white guy. But you know what? He's like a bulbous, round object, and I didn't expect that. Was he living in like a fucking what the fuck? That's like an office chair, like a straight up like he took that from an office. There's no audio here. There's no audio here. Just dude, we're gonna see his plumbers crack, man. We're gonna see his plumbers crack. Okay, it's getting a little hot in here. Sorry, my nipples are out. Ugh. But yes, that's him. Yeah, I know. For free, Diesel? That's crazy. God, I'm actually super fucking sore, too. Holy shit. What the fuck? Nipples out for the plumber's crack. Oh, my God.
Shortly, but there's one thing I'd like to do.
Of course, he listens to Tool. I feel like he'd be a Skillet listener, you know? I feel like he'd be a Skillet listener. The feng shui of this room is really bad, by the way. You know, just from a feng shui perspective.
He beefs so hard with Gallagher memes. Next time I go home, I'm plastering his mailbox with Gallagher stickers.
You are literally making up fake people, okay? All right, I'm clicking on the fucking microwaving hot wine. Hot wine for the autumn winter. Microwaved barefoot Merlot red wine.
Here's the glass of wine I'm about to put in the...
No, guys, you gotta understand, I've been watching that guy who does the TikToks about feng shui, right? And, you know, you can't put your fucking couch against a window like that, because then the monkeys will come and get you. Feel free to take however you feel about that.
microwave just to warm it up. Maybe get it boiling a little bit, just, you know, like any boiling liquid, like water.
Dude, you got the Aldi boxed wine in there, bro.
Case for hot chocolate if you add the powder afterwards. But this is no hot chocolate at all. This is Merlot. This is red wine. So I am going to put it in the fridge like so.
Dude, what is he? Is he living in like a Super 8 motel? What is going on here?
Here it is. I'll give it at least a minute and 50 seconds.
This, like, I need to stop, you know, nipple posting.
I can sort of hear it boiling.
Yeah, the toilet scrubber behind his oven.
Camera down and set it somewhere safe. Here it is, the finished product. Hot steaming Merlot in the chilly autumn. I live in an apartment where the normal temperature for any heater or even air conditioning in the summer is 74 degrees. So I'm going to give this a go when it cools down enough. But I'm going to give it a taste test now.
I want to see him drink it. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. One more swig. Nice and toasty for the fall and winter. Bye.
Bye, Brian. Is he blowing on it?
Hey, guys.
Yeah, I know. He's also made music as well. I have his, like, life, I have, like, his life fucking, Wattpad story. So here's his roast games debate stuff. Let's go to Bryan Mullins SoundCloud. My live's Rugrats theme in C minor. Okay, all right. Dracula, the diddler of Transylvania over here. That's wild, dude. Wild. my god. That's fucking bad. This is fucking bad, dude. Dude, Anthony Fantano would not like
Play the love
this.
song about the cartoon dog.
Naked Sparks of Fire of Crazy Hot Love. Well, this is a live stream in audio format. True love is never given, it's earned. What is this? Okay, this is like those music that plays when you kill a person. All right, this is kill people music, dude. It is. You're right, Q. It's people peeler music.
But fear not, you were never mine.
Can I commission him to make a song? I'll do it. I'll commission him to make a song.
You're adopted little one. A father can never be a deadbeat because he never had
This was 3 years ago. I don't even know if this was AI. This had to be him.
to let some seed. It's a win-win situation, no matter.
Diesel listening to this as he prepares his girlie's favorite meal, people. Oh my god, dude. I want to be your Bow Wow toy.
Hey there, Sasha baby, little green eyes. I'm the perfect one for you. I'm just the right size. I'm in love with you. And you know what? I'm ready for playtime.
No, don't do that. Don't say that. Don't say that. I don't like that.
Right around my neck. Press a little button and turn me on. If you are lonely, come with me. Whoa, 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 if you really are neat. And if you want me to.
Dude, music to rut to with your with your little puppy. Oh. Yeah, that music is rough. Dude, that music is rough. I mean, honestly, I really got a bone to pick with that, you know? Music to be nodded to. No.
Let me climb onto you.
This sounds like ambient ELP. No, this is this ambient EP, okay?
Let me bounce on you. Oh, baby girl.
Let me bounce on you, yeah. Dude, I think I like Kumo's music more when Kumo was talking about blasting on a man's fucking penor.
Wanna be your bow
Bounce on that thing, threatening.
wow toy.
Bow wow.
Oh, sugar pie. I wanna be your downtown boy.
Bow wow.
True love.
There are moments of greatness in this, you know?
Music to play while reading your makeup.
Hey there, Charlie boy. Mr. Dark Brown Eyes. You're the perfect one for me.
Dude, it's like audio's going like...
You're as sweet as can be.
The Bow Wow toys over there, man. The Bow Wow toys.
We need like a chill stream that's just listening to Lolco produced music.
Dude, I should dress up as Anthony Fantano, put on a fake fucking fake fucking ball cap, and do the lolcow music reviews. Yes, we get the fruits. Well, you only get one fruit, okay? Good chatters get 2 fruits. Oh my god. Hold on. Let me bow wow maxing fruit. There we go. Cyrax has a cover of The Sound of Silence is insane. Christmas Never Happened in 2017.
Hello, everyone.
Oh my god.
I am the Fox. One is hoax.
So that's just him like proselytizing again, all right. I want to listen to more of his music. Dude, if he just bursted out into rapping, I would have been like, damn, this white boy can't jump. That's crazy. Someone call him Kendrick. Get this guy on a feature.
At the altar today.
Dude, wild. Let's see if we can out-rap Kevin Lamar. Dude. I feel like I'm going through one of those angry, you know, like you watch a TV show and there's like a scary fun house and you're stuck on the ride and it's like evil clowns going like, "Arr!" Right? That's what this sounds like. Dude, we got Polyphia at home, bro. We got Polyphia at home.
Girl, you're so fun, your blood's gonna taste like hot.
Dude, this actually hurts my ears. This one actually sounds horrible. The others were okay. This one is horrible.
Cherry wine. Girl, you're so fun, my blood's gonna taste like hot red wine. Girl, you're so fun, your blood's gonna taste like hot cherry wine.
Hot cherry wine, dude. Me serenading the baddie I pulled. Hot cherry wine.
So fun, my blood's gonna taste like hot red wine. Don't you know that when there's smoke, oh baby, there is fire. But with the fire of crazy hot love, it's sweet old-fashioned desire. I told you once, then I told you twice. I told you once again that making love feels nice. Boing.
Boing. All right, he said making love feels nice, followed by the word boing. Okay. Okay. Want to make this song better? It's about the girl dog from Balto. I don't actually... Hold on. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Mm-hmm. No, wasn't it an All Dogs Go to Heaven character? Okay, I will keep playing it. I'll keep playing it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Someone call up Brad Taste. I need a lackluster music review right this instant. You know the guy on Reddit? There's a guy on Reddit who begs to fucking. This is that. This is worse than Seabat, dude. This is this is the kind of music white guys fuck to. I'm sorry, it's just true. Dude, this is literally is Cocky Wan Boing Boing the song, dude. Holy shit. Dude, this is actually mentally stressful. This music is mentally stressful.
Gonna taste like hot cherry wine. Girl, you're so fun, my blood.
This feels like something a Napoleon Dynamite character would do in the movie, right? Like this is insane.
Taste like hot red wine. Girl, you're so fun, your blood's gonna taste like hot cherry wine. Girl, you're so fun, your blood's gonna taste like hot red wine. These thinking sparks will have you coming.
Okay, I gotta be honest, it totally sounded like he said, these N-words will have you coming. All right, that's literally what it just sounded like.
For warmth in the bed sheets.
Can I get like the lyrics on this, Brian? I want to do a cover of this.
Our heart will start drumming. Girl, you are the one who barks.
Girl, you are the one who barks. Dude, fucking, I can hear dogs down the block howling, bro.
You told me once, you told me twice, you told me once again. The one like king, it tickles you pink. Boing.
Boing.
I'm autistic, but this is too autistic for me.
Dude, I literally don't know what the fuck was going through his head when he chose that as a song, like a song musical instrument, okay? There's no fucking reason to be playing that. It keeps going. It keeps going. It's such a long song. Jesus Christ.
Girl, you're so fun, your blood's gonna taste like hot cherry wine. Girl, you're so fun, my blood's gonna taste like hot red wine. Girl, you're so fun, your
Dude, yeah, I honestly was giving too much shit to that Piss Jazz song because holy fuck is that. Like, now that I've paused it after listening to it for so long, I feel like there's a silence in my ears that wasn't present before.
This triggers my fight or flight. I want to fight.
God damn, that is so fucking funny, dude. That is so fucking funny. Okay, I'm gonna go take a piss, speaking of. I am not going to leave that on, though. As funny as it would be, I'm not gonna horrify people during the break with that piss music. All right? Can I come? No, you're not coming with me to the bathroom. Oh my god. Dude, this is like literally like I've been like this music is so non-threatening. Finish the piss music. Fine, I'll finish it first and then I'll go take a leak. All right. Ugh.
It's gonna taste like hot cherry wine. Girl, you're so fine, but it's gonna taste like hot red wine.
Yay. Wait, no. There, we got through the whole song, all right? Diesel's never gonna make it to the bathroom on time. God. That was rough. That was rough. Unfortunately, I have returned. Oh boy. I feel like I'm still mentally coming down from that. Does anybody else feel like they're mentally coming down from that fucking song? Because that's what I feel. Oh boy. How much for you to play it again? I am not playing it again.
How much for you to play it again?
No. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I went to his 2025 rants and I just reasons why dismantling the Department of Education is the right move. Yeah, Bryan Mullins passed away a month ago. He just has videos planned out in advance, right? JFA is bullshitting. Yeah, it's JFA. He's always bullshitting. I gotta know why. I gotta know why Bryan thinks dismantling the department. Listen, man, I have seen what literacy looks like these days. I think we need to fix that, actually, okay?
Hi, everybody. I am Bryan Mullins the Fox. While this is the last short-form rant of March, and not the first one to reach double-digit territory yet, I will sum up all the reasons as best as I can without going off on a long-form ramble. Here are 5 reasons why dismantling the Department of Education is not only the right move, but it's also the only way that education in this country can ever advance, improve, and raise the
Oh my god.
IQ of the average American, much less...
Oh yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. The lack of Department of Education oversight is why Bryan is like this. Dude, listen, man, if the Department of Education was getting appropriate funding, Bryan might have gotten the fucking aids that he needed to not fail fucking high school, bro.
American child far better than the last 45 years. Education in this country can ever advance, improve, and raise the IQ of the average American, much less American child, far better than the last 45 years. Number 1, getting rid of this federal department should help states get back that chance to control education and how each citizen and child is educated in their own state. It should be a state-by-state issue.
Listen, Bryan, okay, not to be political Andy, right, yada yada, right, but if we look at tax revenue, okay, if the state gets more tax revenue from its populace, would their schools not be better funded than other states? Yes or no? Yes. You'd earn, like, there'd be more
Truly
taxable
the
income
intellectual
from,
of our
like,
time.
fucking blue states,
Lol.
right? So we would have this situation where there are certain states with really good education and then certain states that get no tax revenue that have really bad education, okay? Because they're not able to fucking fund it, all right? So Bryan, you sound like you're, I don't know, fucking Midwesterner or something, right? Some flyover fuck-off state, right? Your school that you were going to would get less money if there was not a federal department in order to subsidize those funds, all right?
Just like abortion, instead of a federal government issue, especially when they're severely understaffed, but not because Trump cut the whole department in half. Number 2, if the Department of Education was really as important as Democrats and far leftists will have you all believe,
This might be out of pocket, but that fox looks like an Asian man.
the fuck was it only established in 1979? Shouldn't we have been just fine without this department being a thing? It was one of a lot of the shittiest things to come out of the Carter administration, much less the 1970s. Number 3, it's a waste of taxpayer money and other resources letting...
Oh my god, this is... Dude, he's spitfiring these, man. I don't know, bro.
The feds help educate kids, even when a great portion of them are poor and live in poverty. And
Yes, but the idea of a federal institution that standardizes education is so that way the poor kids who live in poverty get the same education that the rich kids do, okay? Obviously, in practice, that doesn't work, right? So obviously, there needs to be some more oversight and reforms. I'm not saying that there isn't issues, right? But like, brother, what?
be fucked to afford their services to begin with. Served no better purpose. If they did, we wouldn't have to worry about how poorly they do in the average IQ of the average American, let alone the average American child. Number 4, policies that affect the way many parents educate their kids are the very reason why kids fail. Kids aren't as smart, well-civilized, preventatively clever, and as capable of solving even the most complex and prevalent problems in society. Teachers are quitting left and right.
How, dude? You don't address any of these issues.
And some rural or poor schools are shutting their doors for good. And all of this because we didn't give that much of a shit to begin with.
When shall we expect you to do a cover of Hot Cherry Wine? I need the lyrics. If I had the lyrics, I would do it because it's funny.
When it comes to state-by-state education, we're just lazy fucks who had to rely on the government to do way too many things we should have done for fucking decades ourselves. And finally, number 5, these federal employees do nothing but push DEI, woke propaganda.
Oh my god. Oh. All right, not to be that guy, but have you guys seen what goes on in like a federal building? Okay, because, which by the way, I think it's really interesting that his last point is the woke bullshit thing, and it is clearly the actual point, right? So all that other stuff he mentioned before isn't like he just heard that somewhere else, but the stuff coming now, that's the stuff coming after. Right? Dude, do you know, if those people working in the federal building are bored out of their fucking minds, all right? You realize that most of what you do in a day is just like filling out paperwork for shit, and you don't even really know, and the building is miserable, and it's fucking sad, and you're like, blah, 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 I don't have anything to do all day. Or not anything to do all day. You don't see that, like, the aspects of your work that impact the society around you.
And brainwash our kids on a nationwide scale because we have let them for 45 fucking years. If all this shit goes away and all the problems get solved surrounding education...
You know what's crazy? So I'd been doing some, because I'm interested in the woke question, right? Because again, this is something I don't know, guys. It's something wrong with me. But I went looking to find out about this stuff, right? So you know how people always talk about like these gender expression things, genders and social construct stuff. They say it's new and that it just got popular and it came out of nowhere in the last few years, right? It became like woke is a thing that didn't exist until like 2014, somewhere around there, 2015, right? Dude, when you actually like look at the academics that are like getting into this stuff and have like really nuanced takes, right? It's actually not new. It's actually from the 70s, right? A lot of this stuff is from the 60s or the 70s, right? They did studies or they're sociologists, right? But it's not new. So when people say it's new or it just came out of nowhere, it's not.
In this country, after having taken this approach in the future, we would have nobody else to blame but our fucking selves for who we voted for, what we didn't and couldn't be fucked to do or do at all, how long we slagged off, and why. However, Trump simply signing the executive order is just the beginning of this long process of dismantling the Department of Education alongside with Linda McMahon. All it takes now, or whenever this video comes out, is for the U.S. Senate to retain 60 votes for majority.
Yeah, the DEI started the California fires.
Which means that 53 Republicans and only 7 Democrats are needed to have this all come to fruition. After that, it is over. If we can achieve all that, at that point, the education of our children is brought back down to where it finally and rightfully belongs, to the states separately. Before I end this video, I just
Kentucky is gonna be absolutely swimming in fucking geniuses once they get rid of it.
You all to know, the month of April will have 2 of each format when it comes
Sure, I start 3 fires a week with my woke ideology. Actually, if you squeeze hard enough and think about the woke, you'll actually be able to set fire specifically to a California neighborhood.
to SFCs and SFRs respectively. I have made my point abundantly clear, and if by all means, or the Department of Education eventually goes the way others went forever, our days will no longer be as numbered.
Thanks,
as
boss. I'm sorry, Cloudy.
Can't count on their own. I'm Bryan Mullins the Fox, signing out.
I do find it funny that the guy with the speech impediment is telling other people what we should do with the education system. Oh my God.
What these people don't know is that none of this stuff is new. They're just upset that they can't simply ignore it anymore.
Two reasons why having a fictional crush has nothing to do with relationship skills. All right, this is like the biggest cope title I've ever read in my entire life. Bro just wants his roast theory taught in schools.
Hi everybody, I am Bryan Mullins the Fox for the very last ever short form rant for the entire month of January of 2025. and this one will be about reasons why people being in a crush with a fictional character says fuck all about their relationship skills.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna point it out, but like, what the fuck is with this character's design, brother? What is going on, dude? What is going on?
Pretending you're in a relationship with a fictional character, whilst being in a real one, has nothing to do and has no effect on their real relationship.
Okay, having a fictional crush is whatever, right? There's really no issue with that, right? I mean, I've talked about Lady D as much as the next guy, but if you're in a relationship with a fake character and you're also in a relationship with a real person at the same time, yeah, that's a bit strange.
Other than the other partner might have a similar interest or a similar crush to mine. Number one, just telling someone to just go out and get a girlfriend or something instead of just pretending that you're in a crush with something that isn't real or a fictional character is not only cringe as fuck, but it's stupid as fuck, because guess what? A lot of people who are married or either engaged or just boyfriend, girlfriend have fictional crushes, and they can separate those crushes from the real ones they have themselves. It's not a matter of personal responsibility, it's a matter of imagination, and how much you have it, and how much is healthy, and how much is unhealthy. People can have a healthy, responsible imagination with whatever crush they have, with whatever character they desire.
Guys, this guy sounds like he's coping for having a fictional crush after he got told that he should just go out and find a girlfriend. Listen, you can't, real talk, you don't just walk out into the middle of the street, put a sign up and say, I'm looking for a boyfriend-free girl, okay? But, like, you do need, like, when people say that, right, they don't know how to articulate the point. What they're saying is, I think you should go outside and experience things, so hopefully you can come across somebody who has similar interests to you. That's what they're saying when they say that. They don't know how to articulate it, okay? But that is what they're saying.
In the moment. People can also see how
I wish Bigfoot the monster truck had a crush on Bryan Mullins the fox at 98 miles per hour.
unhealthy an imagination can be with seeing people like Chris Chan, but the truth is, it's far easier for the average detractor, A-logger, or commentator to cite Chris Chan as the prime example than to name the actual cons of having an unhealthy imagination. And what
so an unhealthy imagination, listen, your imagination becomes unhealthy when you decide to hang out with your imaginary girlfriend over a good opportunity to enrich your life with somebody who is physical and can give you like touch or, you know, conversation. All right.
Someone to inhibit and even act upon their unhealthy obsessions.
I'm common law married to the engineer from Prometheus, so I can't comment on this video.
Unhealthy imaginations, and even predatory desires. Yes, you may not like when I say it, but I understand that there is a shitload of fucked up people on websites like DeviantArt, For Affinity, and so on, who have fucked up fetishes, or those who are obsessed with crossover pairings, which is taking one character from a movie and pairing them up with another noteworthy character and mashing them together like they're in some kind of canon relationship when they're not.
Why? That's not problematic at all. Who has a problem with crossover relationships? You? Dude, God forbid the Onceler and the chick from Has Been Hotel get in a fake relationship in my mind together. God.
And other people will just gatekeep them and say, well, find a real girl because having fictional crushes at all makes you fucking weird, bro. I hate that kind of gatekeeping because it says nothing and serves no purpose.
Dude, he's talking about crack shipping. Yeah, he's talking about crack ships.
People can have whatever crush they have and still be in a
you know, snuff fetishes, crossover shippers, potato.
real fucking relationship, you goddamn mongoloid. The problem isn't with fandoms. It's with the parents doing a piss poor job in raising their kids to separate what's real from what's fiction.
Listen, man, if I'm 27, if I want to imagine a relationship where 2B and Lady D bump uglies and then kiss me, I can do that. You know, this is America.
Like, he's talking
it has
about
nothing to
my
do with
married
anything.
wife, Emma Frost from Marvel Rivals.
That's so true. Speaking of, my newest white woman of affection these days.
In all ways, not just one. There are a bunch of sickos and weirdos that happen to be bronies, but they use the guise of them being in a bigger community to obfuscate the fact that
the snow bunnies infected you. Dude, you know what's so funny is that the whole non-wording of snow bunny mind control is so fucking funny, right? So for those of you that don't know, snow bunny mind control is like a pejorative term from like the black community, talking about how black men won't be dating black women and start dating white women. And then ultimately it's a little bit of like a black, you know, identity politics stuff, right? But now it just means that you're really, really addicted to the idea of white women.
Creepy, predatory monsters. But I wouldn't really blame the community because it's even out of their control that one person has influenced.
You can say it. It's racism. Yeah, it is racism. Yeah. The original like description of Snow Bunny mind control was just like, oh, black men shouldn't date white women because it'll just dilute the gene pool and keep black from being beautiful because it'll make disgusting mixed race babies. That's true. There's a lot of fucking people that think like that.
Over another person who just happens to be a minor. And they shouldn't all collectively feel like they're to blame for something they didn't fucking do themselves.
I honestly don't even know what the fuck he's talking about anymore because it's so dysfunctionally all over the place.
This one person did. And two, making the Grums argument doesn't make you smarter than you actually are.
What's the Grums argument?
Any smarter than you're not. It makes you sound fucking stupid.
I did a video on Grums. What's the Grums argument on shipping, dude?
To gatekeep the hell out of someone by telling them to go outside, get a girlfriend, get laid, and have a life just because you have a fixation with a franchise or a fictional crush whilst being in a real relationship.
So I can't tell. Are you pro or anti-fictional crushes?
With someone who has those same fixations, crushes, and even might potentially have something in common with you. I am so sick of this retarded argument just because a bunch of assholes on the internet can't grasp the concept of separating what's fiction from what's real in the sense of a crush and being in a relationship whilst having that fictional crush at the same time.
I think if you were in a monogamous relationship and you explain to your partner that you were also in a relationship with a fictional character, they might think you're kind of fucking strange. In fact, that might be a cause for a very difficult conversation in a relationship. Okay?
The same person you're in a relationship with having possibly the same crush on the same character as you. And some of these fuckers have...
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's like, you know, the first thing I tell white women is that I need... I'm just gonna stop that joke while I'm ahead.
children anyway, so it doesn't say shit when it comes to whether or not you're capable of being in a relationship where you're social with your partner.
No, say it. No. I know better.
Imagine some of these people moral fagging about people who do that, also doing the same shit as the other people they complain about. That would be scrumdiddlyumptious irony. But no one licks the toilet lid before they see the first tidal wave. Because all it takes
what does
is
that
one
even
flush,
mean? So
and that one
what is
You're losing me.
flush could end up ruining your entire career, metaphorically of course, not literally, because it's treated like it's the same damn crime against humanity as double
what does that have with the toilet analogy? Is really wild.
dipping a
Like,
chip in the same dip bowl. I'm Bryan Mullins, the Fox, signing out. See you in the month of February when it comes to these.
I
Brothers just mad 2B and Kane won't bang him even in his fanfiction.
Oh my god. Oh god, a history of my past and present fictional crushes. Let's see who's into, chat. Let's see who he's into.
Hi everybody, I am Bryan Mullins, the Fox.
Hi,
Welcome to the first
Bryan.
short-form
When did you realize that you were mentally ill? I just realized. It's okay, Bryan. You're valid. The room circled around him claps.
commentary video for the month of March, or SFC7 for short. Now, before I get to the main topic of this video, let me just say that 2025 so far is richer in content and its production value. I already got the future content lineup for 2026 ready, and I'm more than ready to do these short-form commentaries and rants up until mid to late April because, of course, I gotta prepare myself early for LFC 10 parts 1 through 4, and prepare to begin the production of the 3rd edition of the Roast Game Awareness Month come October. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Now, before we start with this linear timeline of the history of my fictional crushes, I didn't really have any long-lasting or long-term crushes on any character, fictional or otherwise, in my prepubescence and early portions of my teenage years. Bubby from The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, voiced by...
Whoa! Whoa! Oh my god. You know, here I was thinking he'd say something like the Hex Girls or Raven. I mean, those were mine when I was younger, but you know, it's like, brother, the whale from Flapjack?
by Roz Ryan, and Marlene the Otter from The Penguins of Madagascar, voiced by Nicole Sullivan.
Okay, this guy, I think he likes black women. I think he likes...
really changed me that much at all in an amorous way. But all of a sudden, all that changed on January 2nd, 2014. It dawned on me that I began my first ever long-term crush on a fictional character known as Sasha LaFleur. And this was after almost a week since I first watched All Dogs Go to Heaven 2, that
Sasha
shitty and
LaFleur.
good-for-nothing sequel.
Okay, hold on. Let me look up that character. It's been a while since I've seen... This is the Boing Boing dog? Brother. Brother. Listen, man, I'm not even like anti-furry, bro, but like a lot of furries think people who are into ferals like this are fucking zoophiles in disguise, okay? I mean, this is zoophile posting. All right, you get ostracized from the furry community for being this. All right, like if it was like a Zootopia thing, I'd be like, all right, whatever. But like, brother,
that bastardized a Don Bluth franchise to hell and back. But even this had some years-long lead-up. Back in 2009, when I was living in Colorado Springs, Colorado, I was introduced to Netflix as...
Check out his recent community post. You aren't going to believe it. Why? The truth about child predators? And how to actually... Wait, what? Bryan Mullins, the Fox. The truth about child predators and how to actually get rid of them. Censored. 1-year anniversary. Oh, okay. I want to know how that's going to go. I think I already know what that is, but he's got a lot of community posts. He has many a channels.
As a child, we watched stuff like The A-Team, Heathcliff, Supersized Me, and you guessed it, All Dogs Go to Heaven, the series. And for some innocuous...
Oh, buddy, did I miss something? Diesel, this dude has things queued up for 2 years. I know, dude. Do you know who Schmorky is? And is it Stone Toss? No, Schmorky's not Stone Toss. And yes, I know who Schmorky is. I think we've mentioned Schmorky on the podcast that we don't fucking record because something happens every single fucking time. I don't think Schmorky is Stone Toss. No. I think they are two different guys. Yes, I am sure. I'm very sure of that.
Odd fucking reason,
I've also seen the Stone Toss face docs, so the art is so similar. Yeah, but no, they're different guys.
Familiar with the show 2 or so episodes in, years before I fell in love with Sasha for the first time.
Who slept through the recording this time around? I was up early.
Couldn't guess any harder. My mother is, or rather was, a somewhat massive Sheena Easton fan, and I look back at all this feeling both nostalgic yet embarrassed at the same time. Wasn't my fault that I was also internet deprived and somewhat sex ed deprived until sometime later on, throughout 2014 and 15.
Yeah,
now, to go
I don't think he was internet deprived enough.
2014 in general was a game and life changer for me. Went to live in California for the first time as a teen since I was very little for 3 months. Got to learn all my childhood memories and things that scared me when I was really young. Like that 1955 Tex Avery cartoon that's spelt as the following: SH as in sh, followed up by 4 dashes and 4 H's. Or Blue Cantrell song, Hit 'em Up style, Oops, from 2000.
What the fuck is he saying? Is he having a fucking stroke? I unironically don't understand what the fuck he's saying. What the fuck did he just say?
2001, the one I apparently and mistakenly called the Wild McStyle song for some retarded reason. And to make things better, got more familiar with SpongeBob SquarePants production music. I'll go on a much longer rambly tangent for a completely different video from this, maybe in either April or September. Learned more about Sasha LaFleur, Sheena Easton's music throughout the years, got to watch more episodes of that series, and even went as far as to watch portions of An All Dogs Christmas Carol in 2019 during the production of my first full-length feature creepypasta movie, A Fact of Life for David. Now I get it. There's a big difference between having a great furry awakening and having a fictional crush carrying you.
Did you watch the video on him giving advice to parents to have sex in front of their kids to teach sex ed? I feel like I've watched it, but I've explored so much that it's all becoming like one big blur. And he constantly goes on these rambly tangents that I don't know.
Through years of inspiration and content, in a life full with misery, some malcontent, and continuous trust issues here and there.
That's the bit in his most recent post.
Inspirational characters, I became the furry I am at present on February 27th, 2018.
Man, if you said like Judy Hopps or some shit like that, I would have been like, whatever, man. Yeah, I get it. But like, brothers... If you were like Crystal the Fox, I would have been like, yeah, I get it. You know, but if you were like Murray from Sly Cooper or like the fucking female Lombax from Ratchet and Clank, I would have been like, sure.
And of course, it wasn't until January 2nd, 2021, when I fully grew out of all that and ended my first ever long-term crush on a fictional character, Sasha LaFleur. Sasha LaFleur was just
dude. Okay, listen, you like Sasha LaFleur, I get it. And even Liz Lola Bunny, yeah, I get that those are like, you know, the general, you know, fall-ins, you know, but
Sandler movie type pick-me-up hoping she'll just belong someplace that never was her real home. After that point in 2021, I've changed a lot, and pretty much every bit of furry that I became back in 2014, 7 years of all that, it just ends as easily as it kicked off. Around that time, I was still mourning and coping over the death of my grandmother, and that copium didn't end until
What does this have to do with the fucking characters you're goon to?
sometime in mid-April of that year. After all that, I began just
Lola
writing
Bunny had me going space, goddamn. I was always more of like a Carmelita Fox kind of guy personally.
songs on the fly, alongside with other instrumentals and soundtrack, yada yada yada, but I've already gone over as to how and why 2021 changed everything. Sometime in July of 2024, I fell into my second long-term fictional crush, but on Jen the Corsac Fox from Kung Fu Panda 4.
What? Are you fucking kidding me? Teaser. I don't even know who that character is. The Aquafina Fox. Hold on. What was the character's name, chat? What was the character's name? I haven't seen Kung Fu Panda 4. I didn't even know there were 4 of those, okay? Kung Fu Panda 4. Okay. Let's see. Oh, are you fucking kidding me, dude? It's always I feel like Fox characters literally always look exactly the same when they're in animated movies. Because this looks like, what was that movie where they were like thieves? That animated movie with the thief animals, and there's like a fox girl in that, and they're like stealing stuff. The bad guys, yes, the bad guys, right? Does it look like she's related to the bad guys, Fox? I cannot believe Aquafina was in fucking Kung Fu Panda 4. Diane Foxington. Do we all have selective memory? Do we not all remember talking about Bryan literally almost a year ago to the day? Okay. Like, none of us broke this guy. This happened already. All right? You literally have streamer brain. You actually have brain rot. This already happened, Chris. We were already here. This already happened.
Wow, from All Dogs Go to Heaven 2 to Kung Fu Panda 4, it's a strange coincidence that the one thing I haven't...
The bad guys is probably normal to have a furry crush. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, like Diane Foxington makes sense.
Common when it comes to having these fictional crushes is that the sequel is or has an even number in the title. From all the mistakes, moral shortcomings...
Dude, even in his like fictional crushes, there's got to be an aspect of numerology to it,
and even moments of absolute
time loop. Well, you see, it's a slow week, right? Because a bunch of us don't want to cover the Ethan Klein disaster festival, right? And then we don't want to fucking continue talking about Destiny. And I'm Alex is already over, really, as like a conceptual story, right? Alex sucks. Boom. End of conversation, right? So there's just nothing going on right now.
Degeneracy in the rear view mirror that I've learned from, it's an absolute certainty that I will never do to Jen what my creepypasta fanfiction has done to Sasha, with Charlie being a predator that craves for Anne-Marie's flesh.
I don't...
With other
dogs. Of course. No, this guy's got a cannibalism fetish. The Roast Games theory is his like global fetish, okay?
But that's neither here nor there. And with that shit out of the way, I'm Bryan Mullins the Fox.
Yeah, okay. All right. What is and isn't rage bait? A message to Donald Trump. The first ever blood test in my life. Oh my God. I really want to know about Bryan's health. Since he's so open, you know?
Hi everybody, I am Bryan Mullins the Fox. Welcome to the third installment to my short-form commentary series for 2025. This time, the things I talk about will be a little more serious and up close in nature. This was, if my memory serves me perfectly well, the first ever blood test I ever took in my 25-plus year life. The basic information
So you haven't had a blood test in 25 years? Were you being raised by anti-vaxxers?
Gave out on New Year's Eve was that the blood test in question only checks for stuff like diabetes, vitamin deficiencies, and even general blood sugar problems. If it comes out that I have low blood sugar or inconsistent blood sugar
Dude, it's going to be really funny if he says that he has diabetes in this video.
then that's different from diabetes. If it comes out that I test positive for diabetes, then oh well, must have been genetic. I must figure out a way to deal with it, if that's the case. If it only comes out that the only problem I have is vitamin deficiencies that are minor in nature and in scope, then okay. I'll try to catch up with whatever the fuck vitamin or nutrient I'm falling well the fuck behind on. By the time I'm scripting this, I haven't yet received the results. The blood test was not necessarily checking for the following. 1. Heart disease, given I have seemingly had an adequately healthy heart almost all my life. 2. Cancer, I'm never gonna fake cancer and act out like Boogie2988 or surprise.
This guy sits around watching us, dude. He's sitting around watching all the drama shit. Dude, I wish I should have gone longer yesterday, man, because Bryan showed up in fucking Falgy's chat last night.
You like hell. 3. Hepatitis of all types, because I just don't have it. And 4. HIV/AIDS of all kinds and colors of the rainbow, if you will. From blue waffles to red sores. From green onion crotch to women...
Wait, what, lol? Yeah, dude, he showed up in fucking Falgy's chat thinking it was me.
Living in a yellow cream marine. If you got that pun, congratulations. You're not butthurt. If you feel any bruising,
no,
an
he's not
creamsicle
happy.
awaits you in the back hallway. Are there any other vegetables more rotten in the harvest than these fagaloons? Because if so, I'd go pescatarian. The P in pescatarian means eating pussy safely. At least if it's not the wrong kind of fishy. Alpha and
What
Omega.
the fuck is he talking? Is he having like a fucking, like, I actually feel like he's not saying anything.
Of all types, because I just don't have it. And 4. HIV/AIDS of all
All right,
kinds
so he
and
doesn't have AIDS, okay.
colors of the rainbow, if you will. From blue waffles to red sores. From green onion crotch to women living in a yellow cream marine. If you got that pun, congratulations. You're not butthurt. If you feel any bruising, an orange creamsicle awaits you in the back hallway. Are there any other vegetables?
What does that even mean? I don't understand. So he's saying he doesn't have AIDS and that he eats pussy?
More rotten in the harvest than these,
And that he doesn't have sex with people who have like a health issue?
fagaloons? Because if so, I'd go pescatarian. The P in pescatarian means eating pussy safely. At least
The P in pescatarian stands for eating pussy safely? What? Pescatarian isn't spelled EPS. Eating pussy safely.
if it's not the wrong kind of fishy. Alpha and Omega could say bon appetit to that shit. All you have to do is just fish for it,
What?
if you will.
I actually feel like I'm having a stroke. What is he saying? None of that means anything.
It was just a regular-ass, casual blood sugar blood test, and the next one will come around possibly the same time next year, because it's annual. I hope it's something at least noteworthy for awareness of all forms, so I don't just drop dead one day, or at least die, and have it to where no one knows what the fuck happened to me until someone else speaks for me or announces my death. If I test positive for anything major or life-impacting, there's no fucking doubt that I'll keep you all updated on that shit, but safely. I know that this might sound strange and facetious to you, but am I crazy? Or am I willing to be a proverbial fisher to find something magical to eat, like a proverbial steak and fish plate?
Why is he constantly talking about fish pussy allegory, dude? What is going
That a
on?
vixen that's right around the corner that I've never tasted couldn't fuck for a better chase for it. Because if I'm crazy
Dude,
when I
was
do
he
that,
like fucking horny when he made this video? What is he talking about?
then maybe I'd be lucky to test negative for AIDS or HIV. But
Were
that's
you
not
saying you have so much sex you might have AIDS?
a worry I'd need to have. So, with all that being said, this ends short form commentary 3. I am your host, Bryan Mullins the Fox, signing out. See you in the third short form rant right after this.
I
Don't go-
literally don't know. None of what you said made any sense. All right, we're just gonna listen to this message to the president. Listen, guys, if he says something about woke or DEI, you got to take a drink.
Hi, everybody. I am Bryan Mullins, the Fox, for the final short-form commentary for the month of January 2025. And this will not be a rant or a video where I will ever be extremely passionate in. This is just a simple message to Donald Trump. A complete...
Could you imagine Donald Trump sitting in his office? Look at that guy. Look at that little fox. He's talking. He's talking. That little fox. I love that guy. What's his name, Elon? I think his name is Bryan Mullins, sir. I love that guy, that Bryan Mullins guy. It's one of the best guys I've seen on YouTube.
Fair and neutral one. So, brace yourselves. Dear President Trump, welcome back to the White House. Sure, might have acted like a sore loser because you believed you won, even though you didn't.
Okay, this guy not being a jazz section is really funny, too.
But it's good to see you back in the White House. You may not be perfect. I will still criticize you. I will rant and rave about you once a month on my old politics channel, and I will make sure...
That guy said I was a sore loser. No, I wasn't. Bryan, I'll have you deported. Deport him right now. Elon, go get the Tesla bots. We're gonna get rid of him.
That your second and last term as president of the United States will be eons better than 4 years of Joe Biden could ever hope to be. It's that bad.
Maybe I'm a bit sour right now because I just looked at my stock portfolio before going live, and I'm Elon, put him in the Cybertrunk. We're putting him in the Cybertrunk. I don't like how he said this is my last term. I didn't like it.
But focus on the most important stuff alongside with getting rid of the deep state and doing as much as you can to confirm.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. That's right. That's right. We're getting rid of the deep state. Elon, can I have another $500,000 for this car? Here you go. I'm gonna use this when I go play Path of Exile later.
From all your new appointees.
Dude, you guys see Elon playing Path of Exile and everybody was making fun of him in like the game chat of Path of Exile?
Kash Patel and Pete Hegseth. Don't go chasing those people always wanting to get a reaction or a rise out of you on X. Focus on doing your job if you're not too busy tweeting. Don't fuck our economy up ever again. Don't...
This is aged so funnily. Dude, this is his fault. This is Bryan's fault. Bryan's message didn't reach Donald Trump. He didn't try hard enough. And now look at where we are. Does he know? Does he know meme, but it's Bryan Mullins, dude.
Pull us through and double down on another Black Swan event, like the coronavirus, aka the COVID-19 pandemic.
That's right, we had no Black Swan events. Liberation Day was one of the best days for the economy. You will suffer pain, but it'll be worth it. You're gonna make iPhones, you kids are gonna make iPhones. It'll be $9,000, it'll be great for me, I mean you.
If you help us recover our economy...
Have you heard the funny lore about Bryan running from a debate? Why am I not surprised?
To a far better state than it's ever been, with lower prices, lower gas prices, possibly reversing most, if not all, the fucking fuck-ups that Joe Biden...
That's right, I've lowered the cost of living. It's gone up a lot, but it's actually lower. I don't know what the cost of milk is.
Did, intentionally or otherwise. And if you do that...
Yeah, I know. It's actually like $30K an iPhone, yes. I know, dude. This is really funny. The context on this is really fucking funny, dude.
If I'm your number one detractor and you prove me wrong and convince me that you're better than I ever expected, even in comparison to your first term, you'd have won me over.
Bryan was supposed to do an interview with Ace and then pretended he couldn't speak English and stopped talking to Ace, of course.
And you would win me over if I was your number one detractor. I'm just not a fan of you, and that's fair enough. I'm not a fan of much of any politicians, because now you know what games you should and should not play. And I hope for the next 4 years that you can try...
this guy talks about the roast games. Listen, Elon, bring him in. I gotta figure out this roast game stuff. We've gotta figure it out. This roast games is not good.
I'm gonna bring in Bryan. He's an expert. He'll do the math. Look at him go. Look at that little guy. He's doing math over there.
To make America great again to the extent that you think America is.
I'll take care of the roast games, Bryan. I'll make America great. Get rid of the roast games.
To be. And the game of lawfare that the Democrats have played for far too long has always been a sham to me. You being a convicted felon doesn't mean anything anymore. Even if you technically
my god, dude.
are, and you somehow reverse that status by either pardoning yourself or doing something else to help you partially expunge your permanent record, then so be it. Go ahead and do it. And so at that point, from then on out, you'd no longer be a so-called convicted felon. And the last thing I should say to you, Trump, and all the supporters, remember this video. Remember the day he's inaugurated. And remember that your goal is to make America great again. And before I go, I'm just going to say, sometimes Trump says something that's right, and sometimes Trump says something that's wrong.
Oh my god, dude, this is so funny. This is so funny. This is so funny. Dude, I hope Bryan gets priced out of the economy, man. What the fuck?
Not too much of a big deal to point out, and I wish you the best. I'm Bryan Mullins, the Fox.
Holy shit, that's fucking hilarious. Holy shit. Dude, all the fursuits are being tariffed because they're coming from China, man. God. Should parents be imprisoned for life for a mass school shooting if the shooter was a minor? Oh my god, dude, wild. He's asking the real questions.
Hi, everybody. I am Bryan Mullins, the Fox, and instead of ranting about what would have been the TikTok ban that wasn't, I have had something better in mind. I don't get why nobody has thought of this as an idea/concept that should also be state or even federal law. But before we get into the grisly details...
This guy, we should get rid of the Department of Education. Also, this guy, we should institute more federal laws that will be...
as to how and why this should be a law in the first place, I'm going to add context for those who are curious. On January 22nd, 2025, I started a text poll on my YouTube community tab page, asking the following: should the parents or parents of a dead school shooter that's a minor or under the age of 18 be prosecuted?
He wants to redefine due process.
And be sentenced to life in prison without parole simply because the shooter in question can't be tried because they're both dead?
Dude, why are you charging the parents for a crime of not seeing that their child was fucking nuts?
And under the age of 18. I don't know if any of the 50 states has that as a law or not. I hope all of them do. It depends on the family structure on a statistical basis. The bad parent should be made just as responsible with the blood of the
Boss, how many subs does a reprobate have? 12K. Dude, you know, people always talk about how hard it is to make it on YouTube, but this guy has just been rambling like a schizo for years, okay? And he is successful. I mean, this is more successful than some other people that have been trying, okay? So, like, you could be the craziest person on fucking planet Earth, and you could still make it, all right? 2020 playlist of commentary rants. Hold on. Oh, he's referencing that. Okay. Hold on. Let me pull up the playlist of rants from 2020. The 2010 sucked. Okay. Playlist. I want to see him talk about the COVID pandemic. Is he speaking on a hypothetical, or is this in reference to the Ethan Crumbly case? Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to guess it is, but you know, I really don't want to listen to it. How not to be wrong on drama/false accusations. Is Jesus Christ and Beelzebub the same being? Okay. I'm gonna guess it is, based off of that. "2024 rants. COVID is an extension of the roast games." There's a lot of roast games material, dude. Holy shit. There's an overwhelming amount of content from Bryan. It's actually kind of insane. Dropping Files, Degenerate Boogaloo, the full documentary. That's 2 hours, Bryan. All right, at least I can stomach it when it's like a little bit of time. God. Might as well click on the fucking transgender bathroom one, right? I talked about it earlier. I'm here, right?
Hi, everybody. I am Bryan Mullins the Fox, here to give you a short rant on 5 reasons why I hate the so-called transgender bathroom debate. Number 1, there will not and never has been an uptick in any sexual and or violent crimes or abuse because trans people can go to whatever bathroom that aligns with—
Whoa. Holy shit.
their preferred gender rather than their biological one. 2, if you don't like the environment and stigma around—
I can't tell. I can't tell if he's pro or anti. Broken clock right twice a day.
around you when it comes to using the opposite bathroom of the one that is assigned to your biological sex at a public place, be it a library, government building, church, grocery store, restaurant, etc., then get over it and ignore them, or just leave. 3, you can make your own choices as a trans person that run as a complete detriment to your health and body entirely, but you can't force people, much less children, to comply to your desires and choices either way, because that would be almost tantamount to grooming. 4,
What does that have to do with bathrooms? It was just like a random sentence.
you can't just assume that any of these choices come without consequence either way. And 5, bastardizing science and biology for the sake of owning dim bigots online and IRL is completely fucking retarded, and it's going completely counter
Dude,
to—
this guy puts the spectrum in political spectrum. Oh my god, dude, this is crazy.
your own movement. Just as much as I hate the left on this fucking issue, I especially hate the right as well. But I won't go too far deep into this. It's just so stupid, okay? It is such a non-issue. There are fucking bigger issues in this world that we need to worry about than trivial, inconsequential shit.
Why do I click on your streams? I don't know, you tell me.
Like transgender bathrooms or unisex bathrooms. If you want a unisex bathroom in your own building or whatever place you go to, fine. I'm not going to force you to comply to having 2 bathrooms only for male and female. I'm not going to force that on you. But similarly, I don't want to trivialize biology and say you can make up whatever gender you feel like you are instead of your biological one.
Dude, it always comes back to the attack helicopter, all right? There's a lot of attack helicopters running around in this economy. It's crazy.
Say fuck all science and biology. I'm not playing the centrist to cover for the left. I'm not playing the centrist to cover for the right. This is just objectivity in opinion form. If you think...
What's the unisex bathroom rate post roast games, guys? how do the bigger issue is the roast games? Yeah. God, what is that actually, Bryan?
Hello everyone, I'm Bryan Mullins the Fox, and before I react to some
He's real. He's real. He's real.
You know, okay. All right. What the fuck is in the bathroom? Okay, I know this is like 240p Andy over here, but is that a giant pile of Papa John's pizzas behind him? Is that like piles upon is that 2 stacked piles of Papa John's pizza behind him? Whoa. Okay. Okay.
memes, I'm going to be announcing a couple of things.
Papa N-word John. Dude, Bryan Mullins, the day of reckoning is coming, okay?
One, since I have Grand Theft Auto 5 for my Xbox One, I'm going to start streaming some Grand Theft Auto 5 in February, and maybe celebrate 1 year of my furry channel. And another, the Roast Game Theory with me, Detective Bryan Mullins the Fox. The second season will come this summer, or at least a week or so after my 20th birthday.
Bub's gotta eat. Oh my god, dude. It must smell like a Papa John's in there, bro. Yeah, his diabetes is genetic. Oh god, I can't believe it. The Discord mod. God. It's just constant. It's a constant barrage of images just beamed right into my skull from these videos, man. God, there's a lot here. Yeah, terrible, terrible thumbnails. What happens to lolcow culture when Mr. Medicare dies? I gotta be honest, some of you commentary motherfuckers put a lot of onus on Mr. Medicare's death and or life. Diesel, he's younger than you, yeah, and he's in a significantly worse place than me. Oh my god. There's so much. There's so much roast game stuff. Patterns everywhere. Yeah, you know, people who say that are in psychosis. Dude, let's give this guy DMT right this instant. I want to see what happens when he's fucking on ayahuasca. I want to see what happens. Oh my god. Hold on, I want to go to his drama channel or something. Pre-furry, Bryan Mullins, the Fox Archive, Fox Drama. God, Roast Game Records. What is this? Why is he just publishing other people's music on his fucking music channel, dude? It's not even his music. It's like other people's music. Oh, the comedy archive is where all of his channel, like all of his videos are played backwards, right?
Mullins the Fox, and we're gonna play a little flash game called Hide the Fart. Oh boy, this is gonna be great.
All right, buddy. All right. Listen. Listen, you're not hiding this from anybody, all right? This is like this is like me when I talk about Wide Girl Winter, okay? Like you say like it's lampshading, but like we all know what you mean when you say you're playing hide the fart game, okay? We know that it's not actually you playing the game. It's you trying to tell everybody that you have a fart fetish.
This has been like the first Flash game I played in a long time. Really. I don't know how long it's been. Probably it's been like a few months or something. I'm gonna break that silence.
Yeah, you're gonna break the silence, all right. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. There's a billion one of these Diesel tortures. Nope. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. Long form commentary Fallout Season 1. If the roast game never happened at all. Stop misusing the phrase conspiracy theorist or conspiracy theory.
Hey guys, it's Bryan Mullins the Fox here. Hopefully accounting for Gilded Pooh's video he made on me addressing the roast game directly. This video
Oh my God.
is where I put my foot down and address the whole conspiracy theory / conspiracy theorist canard. Believe it or not, this is not the first time I've dealt with a non-criticism just like this. People really need to stop misusing the phrase conspiracy theorist or conspiracy theory to merely and baselessly discredit somebody. It's really fucking annoying because I had the same shit thrown at me 5+ years ago, and now I have Oliver, or Gilded Pooh, not only doing the exact same goddamn thing, but made even worse. Because now he's also willing to deny and ignore every single fact / factoid thrown his way on the topic.
Dude, he's literally trying to get you to do this. You are falling hook, line, and sinker for what he's doing. I know this is a year old, but like, brother.
Because it doesn't fit his agenda of silencing a critic.
Yeah, I don't even think his name is Oliver, actually.
Way. A conspiracy theory isn't when you describe a conspiracy and just provide evidence or proof to prove said quote-unquote conspiracy. A conspiracy theory is when you accuse a critic or someone of covering up or withholding evidence of a conspiracy, even when they aren't covering anything up. It would then just be,
oh, he's shown me evidence I disagree with, and other people...
No, it's because in the context of society and the real world, the roast games is incomprehensibly complicated and impossible to maintain as a conspiracy theory, okay? There is no evidence of the roast game. It is... Everything I have seen that you say is evidence of the roast game is numerology, bullshit, number math, okay? Like, I unironically would love to understand what the conspiracy theory is, because you have done such a bad job of presenting it that everything I could figure out from it is just an insane cannibal conspiracy theory, right? Like, Bryan, unironically, I don't know if you're going to see this, but seriously, I would love to actually ask you about these things, because I don't understand your point. And it would just help, like, to have, what is the roast game? The roast game is blank. It is when blank happened. All of these things happened due to blank. It was all covered up by blank. Here's my evidence for why this happened. That's it. That's all you need to do.
Is your ass also synthetic because the real one was eaten for Christmas?
Bryan, this is your moment. I know I've been spending a lot of time dogging on Bryan, right? But, like, unironically, aside from Falgi or I, there's not another commentary channel who's going to be nice enough to have the conversation with him. Period. And also, yes, my ass is synthetic, okay? You can bounce a quarter off that shit. I got a BBL.
Me disagree with in my group because he's withholding evidence and hiding it. And that further proves my point that he's a conspiracy
Okay, that's well. This is also like a straw man, but
theorist.
A conspiracy theorist is not a person who describes a conspiracy, provides evidence of said conspiracy, and proves that it can't be any other way, or
he insists that when people describe Christmas dinner as special and also describe children as special, that's the big clue that parents eat their children for Christmas. Okay.
in other words, there is no cover-up of said evidence because the evidence would have been easily made available and not deleted due to any error or obfuscation for any reason. Even if the roast game itself is a conspiracy, I'm still not theorizing a conspiracy.
So, no. By definition, what you're describing is a conspiracy. A conspiracy is when a bunch of people plot to do something in secret and then hide it, all right? And since you're going to do the thing where you're like, well, I pulled up the definition of what a fucking conspiracy is, and it's blankety, blankety, blank. All right. Okay. So I looked up the definition of a conspiracy theory since Bryan is a debate pedophile and would do this, right? A conspiracy theory is either one, a theory seeking to explain a disputed case or matter as a plot by a secret group or alliance rather than an individual or isolated act, right? Or two, a hypothesis alleging that members of a coordinated group are and or were secretly working together to commit illegal or wrongful actions. Okay, so in the roast games like what you talk about the roast games, you're talking about a coordinated group of people secretly working together to commit an illegal or wrongful act, including attempting to hide the existence of the group and its activities. The roast games is a conspiracy theory. It is just straight up a conspiracy theory. That's it. That's literally what it is.
I'm literally and factually describing it. In fact, by its own logic, I'm a conspiracy analyst. Only a disingenuous and intellectually dishonest cuck would blatantly bleed out.
No, like a conspiracy theorist doesn't imply. So, conspiracy theorist is often used as a pejorative. But when I sit around and talk about the possibility that Luigi Mangione is like a CIA plant, and I give evidence for that, and I'm just kind of shooting the shit and we're having a conversation about it, or when we all sit around and have a conversation about like Jeffrey Epstein, we are being conspiracy theorists, right? We're discussing the possibility that a secret group of people did something in secret to get a outcome that they wanted to happen, right? That would make a lot of people conspiracy theorists. Conspiracy theorists can be used as a pejorative, but it's not always used as a pejorative. Now, Gilded Poo was definitely using it as a pejorative, period. But Space Shoes did it. Teasel.
The same conspiracy theorist /
But you're not analyzing a conspiracy theory. Analyzing a conspiracy theory would be like if you're doing like the studies on flat Earth and then coming to the conclusion that, flat Earth isn't real. Right? Or like one of those channels that debunks flat Earth stuff. That's like conspiracy analysis.
Conspiracy theory canard, or ad hominem attack or whatever, or someone who's unwilling to let go of one's own preconceived or pre-existing biases. A conspiracy theorist is a person who throws the phrase conspiracy theorist at a person they don't like or agree with, but they're...
This guy is an intellectual fucking coconut, dude. All right? You fucking... This guy is what happens when there's no furniture in the house after a roast game, man.
Excuses don't matter, so that they then accuse said person of covering up or hiding / withholding evidence. And any explanation to said conspiracy theorist that doesn't suit his or her narrative is written off as further proof of a cover-up. I can't believe that I had to explain all of that. Because it's people like Gilded Poo that really pisses me.
Very bad faith of you, Diesel. He slowly but surely convinced me the roast game is totally real. I mean, yeah, it's totally real when you think about it. He has his life story video, right? Which one of his channels has the life story stuff on it? I think, is it the main channel? The story of my life, better version. Oh my god. It all started when I was born, head
Hi
ass.
everyone, I am Bryan Mullins the Fox.
Damn, why are you yelling at me?
I am going to make the history of my life clearer than my cringeworthy 2018 Wattpad story.
Why are you yelling at me?
Inconsistencies and false memories. I was an amateur.
False memories. Implanted by the roast games, no doubt.
When I was 18, that creepy fanfic I wrote was nothing of value, and someone else decided to archive it. It got deleted by Wattpad themselves. I didn't delete that in shame, just to be clear. Still proving that I had nothing to hide. It was there the whole time until Wattpad removed it themselves. I'm no longer a fan of All Dogs Go to Heaven in general. I rewatched the first one, and it was bad. I watched a review of the sequel, and that one...
Guys, I watched a review of a movie I liked as a kid, and the reviewer said it was bad. Yeah, Doug Walker does do that.
Worse than the first, as you people can tell. I grew out of that crush as 2021 was still a new year, after 7 years. To go off on a short rant, I admit that I used to be a shameless degenerate, but I've changed ever since I started learning how the internet is and how people act in a way to try to put you down, cancel you, and just...
Guys, he's not a degenerate anymore because other people said that he was cringe. Damn it, I accidentally clicked back by accident. Fuck.
Coming out this Thanksgiving that I will mention later in this video, alongside with my moving out story. Without further ado, let's begin. I was born on May 7th, 1999 at the Travis Air Force Base in Solano County, or Fairfield, California, in room 60 at 38 weeks gestation.
Dude, I could, okay. All right, buddy. All right, that's fucking weird. That's fucking weird. My name is Walter White. I live on blah 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 Royal Lane. I was born at 38 weeks gestation.
I was the last of the 5 that my mother gave birth to. I'm not mentioning how exactly I was born. I was diagnosed with autism in 2001.
No, really. No, really.
I'm not going to mention what cartoon supposedly traumatized me or any misremembering of a song, an event, a movie, things I did that aren't noteworthy or memorable. That shit's
Why is he
irrelevant,
mentioning
but
that?
For all I know, it won't matter anyway to people. When it came to food, I was always repulsed, gagged, and even threw up at the thought of or when I tried to eat mashed potatoes.
Why are we getting Dude, he's got mashed potatoes trauma.
All of that because I somehow thought it had bones in it. I am more used to mashed potatoes now, but I wasn't back then. The same applied to peas, green beans, but I still don't like butter beans. I like my vegetables much more than I did as a kid. Me, my mom, my dad, and my sister lived in California, not for a couple of weeks, but for a couple of years. My mom and dad got divorced in 2002. We then moved into a mobile home in Charlotte, North Carolina. I went to...
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. It's all coming together. It's all coming together.
To play elementary school there. My mom's grandparents lived in other places like that mobile home not too far from the one that we lived in until Hurricane Arthur hit it in 2002. We were in and out of 2 houses, the one in North Carolina and the other one in South Carolina.
My name is Walter Hardwell White.
There was drama between my mother and grandparents that made it impossible to live in South Carolina for too long, until around 2005. Long after one of my mom's exes put me in the freezer as a sick prank.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right. Well, you know, it kind of makes sense. My name is Edwin. Yeah,
Scare
you know, this explains a lot. This explains a lot.
my mother. Around the late 2000s, I was made aware of YouTube's existence and started watching random videos like VHS openings, the farting cat, etc.
He has a fart fetish. I refuse to believe otherwise. Once is a coincidence. Twice, I mean, it's not like a pattern, but you know, I think for this one we can say that a pattern is two things.
I was, later in my childhood, made aware of my mother's and grandmother's collection of Christian music CDs and tapes. I was raised in a devout Christian family myself, and
No shit. No shit. I would not be surprised. You know, it's all making a lot more sense.
when I was a Christian, I was a complete retard and a spastic mongoloid.
Yeah, but now you're an atheist who has Christian guilt and believes that the Christians did a countrywide conspiracy?
Throughout the 2000s, I went to Westview Primary School, where I was having some troubles with math. It even got to the point...
Yeah, he was having some troubles with math. Anyway, he's an expert in math now.
Kicken_the_Swede celebrates 11 months of membership. I have trauma hearing his voice 2 days in the row.
Where I was bullied and was struggling between 2nd and 3rd grade because of my autism. My mom once promised that if I solved all of these math problems without having trouble in a certain period of time, mainly 60 seconds, that she'd give me a small-sized bottle of Coke and an orange.
What?
Dude.
Childhood summer vacations. Throughout the better part of a decade, we went to these 3 houses in Ohio. Number 1, 1348 Pierce Avenue.
Why is he giving the entire address of where he was staying, dude? You gotta be fucking kidding me.
From 2009-ish to 2011. Number 2, 3496 Cadell Road. From
Dude, he's doing Walter Hartwell White thing,
2012
dude.
to 2013. And number 3, 3552 Wymore Place from 2012 to 2013. Again, let's start at around 2009 for the sake of brevity, because I can't really remember much at all about
Don't worry, guys. It's fine. The numerology guy is bad at math.
what happened before such times, except for the time I broke off the control knob of an old grill and my dad screamed at me, or the time back in like 2004-ish, I was somehow misbehaving in an old Lincoln car. We stopped the car, I was taken out of it, and left to be spanked right in front of it. Here are...
Oh my god, this kid was fucking... You know, the thing is, right, if you have kids... How you raise your kids often determines what they're going to be like, autistic or not, all right? The autism doesn't play a role, really, in their behavior as a person, right? Because you can still impart, like, values onto somebody, right? But you can fucking tell that this kid was abused up and down. And that's why he's fucked up. All right? People don't come out of the womb and are just fucking crazy, at least usually from what I've seen. A lot of these guys... You know, it's usually like a familial history.
A few main memories I had of 2009's summer vacation. Number 1, the basement of the house.
Yeah, this is the bad ending.
In which we casually watched old VHSs like Speed Racer, The Lion King, and others, and played games like Gran Turismo 4, a Madden NFL game for the PS2, or a karaoke game that my sister got for herself and me back then. Number 3, when my dad and Linda picked us up, it was usually at a certain TA gas station somewhere in Virginia. Number 4, we
Dude, oh my god, dude.
Usually went to the thrift store a couple or so times.
Who is Linda? His dad's girlfriend.
Usually to get some more VHS tapes and other stuff to take with us home after vacation is over. Number 5, on the 4th of July, we usually went...
This is just depressing now. Well, every time we sit around, like, okay, unironically, like, let's be real here, right? We sit around and we laugh about these lolcows. Every single one of them, obviously, is a dreg of society that is a result of either abuse, you know, a system that just didn't pay attention to them, or like some series of very bad, real, unfortunate events, right? Like you can sit around and you like laugh at it, but that's the reality of it, right? That's just like fucking what it is.
to one of our uncle's house to have fun, eat, and watch fireworks on TV or hear them outside. Number 6, we came back with glow-in-the-dark sticks with vivid neon colors. Number 7, I cried when Michael Jackson died. And finally, number 8, I no longer fear the yeehaw cowboy from 2004. I used to be deathly afraid of cowboys for being harassed with a tiny cowboy plush that sings and screams yeehaw. Or maybe was it 2005? I don't know.
I literally don't even know what the funny little cowboy is. Who's the funny little yeehaw cowboy? What is that?
Could be wrong. Let's get to the 2010 summer vacation, shall we? Number 1, at the time, pink was my favorite color, my absolute favorite color. So anytime we went to the old Dollar Tree store and got stuff like plastic bottles and other miscellaneous things, I always choose the ones that are pink. Number 2, I remember keeping a little baby doll with pink clothing, and I can't remember what I called the baby, but I once dreamt of having future kids, 2 of them, called Fucker and Asshole or something between the 2.
Why is he sharing all this, dude?
Nothing much else is remembered about the 4th of July other than what was described for 2009. Number 4, I remembered going to COSI to have some fun with science and other subjects. So did my close sibling. Number 5, me and my closest sibling used to eat microwave foods like mac and cheese and spaghetti and meatballs. And number 6, we occasionally went to go to the movie theater and watch a kids film. And then we left the summer vacation as usual. And now for 2011.
Why? I'm literally getting a play-by-play of his entire fucking life. You've got to be kidding me.
Number 3. One time, Linda's husband named Bill got so drunk at such an...
Whoa.
Then I was wrong. I also remember constantly watching The Emperor's New Groove. Number 3. One time, Linda's husband named Bill got so drunk at such an old age he fell over and had to be picked up and walked to his bedroom to sleep. Later that year, Bill died. So my dad...
Oh my god.
Dad and Linda had to sell off the house in 2011.
So Linda had... Who's Linda in this story?
To move into their separate homes the next year. Number 4. I think we went to see a Transformer movie and I kept getting scared at Q marks. The occasional...
Maybe it was like a Gen X polycule, guys, okay?
Dots that just showed up at the top right corner of the big screen every 20 or so minutes. Number 5, I remembered as a kid a few years back going to my aunt's house and seeing a little eggplant laughing at me. So I pushed it off the ledge when the tall window was open. And I don't think it was the octagon window, that's for sure, but I could be wrong. Number 6, we then left the vacation home like once before. Now let's get to 2012. Number 1, we were introduced to 2 homes. 3496 Cadell Road.
You were introduced to 2 holes or hoes? What is going on, bro? I'm actually like, I can't, it's very like this like, it's very telling, like all these like weird minute details.
And 3552 Wymore Place in Columbus, Ohio. Number 2, I was actually able to watch Netflix. More specifically, watch stuff like Jackass, Jackass 2, and Super Size Me. VHS-wise, I got to watch Charlotte's Web and The Simpsons and others, and still got to play the same games like Gran Turismo 4. Number 3, I once got injured in the wrist by my close sibling's clever karate move and had to drink tonic water for steady recovery.
Isn't the key symptom of schizophrenia nonsensical and long-winded or rambling with minimal connections to the topic?
Number 4, I got to play some other games like Grid and listen to songs that were considered quote-unquote chopped and screwed. Number 5, I finally found out for the first time the origins of the dramatic chipmunk. Number 6,
what? Oh, the dramatic chipmunk, like that old meme?
We went to see Ted. Right after that, a severe thunderstorm came tumbling down on us with heavy rain, gusty winds, and a long-term power outage. Number 7, I felt shivers down my spine while taking cold showers during that power outage. It was not pleasant. And also, every night when the power was on, when I take...
Not gonna lie, I don't feel bad for Jar, but I feel bad for this guy. Well, don't feel bad for Jar because he had this mechanism to escape his, you know, wagey lifestyle, but he was like a fucking lunatic moron. All right. But this guy has clearly always been broke as shit and completely ignored because of wherever he is. Right. Like, I don't feel bad for I almost called him Dan Burst. I don't feel bad for Bryan. I recognize that, but I'm not like at the point in my life where I have trolls remorse. I've been there, done that, and now I'm just like, I recognize this is bad, but this guy is so crazy that I just kind of sit here and laugh at it.
Nice and warm showers, I hear this big ass thud like this. Probably because a bird hit the window or some shit like that. Number 8. Once power came back on, things slowly improved while I watched Smotimations on Netflix. And number 9. We left the blue house with red shutters back then to go back to South Carolina after a 9 to 13 hour trip like usual. And finally, last but not least, the 2013 summer vacation.
Yeah, Fart mentioned 3. Dude, 3's a pattern. I am not playing the fart noise again.
Number 1, we all
He's literally aura farming, dude.
slept in the basement on a nice and sturdy bed. Number 2, when I was 14, I had a Nabi instead of an iPad due to past family trust issues. Number 3, I remember
What?
watching movies like The 9 Lives of Fritz the Cat, Jackass 2, and all the others I've seen before. Number 4, this was the last year when childhood vacations were a thing. Number 5, relations with my dad and Linda sort of soured. She misbehaved at a buffet and was kind of high when she was like laughing.
Oh my god, bro. Linda wasn't taking the token of fucking devil's lettuce. She was like doing a fucking crack or something, or meth. All right, Linda didn't misbehave. She was tweaking out at the fucking Chinese buffet place in the fucking corner. What are those called? Like, fuck, what's the businesses that take up too much space and have a lot of parking space that need to be removed and used for something more beneficial than
Are
fucking
you gonna check
that.
out the legendary exploits of Bum Farto? That was a real guy.
Okay,
I am not
listen,
joking.
you know how many streams people come here and they're like, hey, you're going to see what Glup Shitto's up to? And I'm strip malls, thank you. Sorry, guys, I'm so Yimby pilled that I forgot what a strip mall was. I can't. Bum Farto is real. Who the fuck is Bum Farto?
And my dad was constantly telling her to stop doing that.
You know what? Who the fuck is Bum Farto? We'll come back to this in a second. Bum Farto. Okay. All right. All right. Bum Farto is like a criminal.
Faces an uncertain future in the House. If you mention Key West, Florida, to most people, they'd naturally think of fishing, maybe.
The Key West fire chief had been under investigation for allegedly trafficking in cocaine. State agents say Chief Joseph Bartow was selling the cocaine from the front seat of his fire chief's car. Under Florida law, vehicles used for that purpose are seized, so agents impounded Chief Bartow.
So Bum Farto was a criminal in Florida. Huh. That's pretty crazy. Where is Bum Farto? Dude, imagine having a name Bum Farto.
Number 6, relations with my dad and Linda slowly recovered to normalcy. And number 7, we left the summer vacation as this one was our last. And that's when I found out that we, as children back then, me and my close sibling, were having these usual summer vacations for the past 10 years, between 2003 and 2013. Thank you for coming with me on this beloved journey to a trip down memory lane.
I graduated primary school, then went to Westview Elementary School. All the while, we moved to Latson, South Carolina, and then back a year later. I went through elementary school in South Carolina until we moved to Colorado later in 2009. I then went to Ranch Creek,
Okay, this is... Dude, if he had like a rich guy like paying for his life, fucking Bryan Mullins over here would be like a modern artist. All right.
Elementary school, where I was part of a choir, sang for a crowd, and other fun things. I did get into trouble here and there, but those were just minor run-ins. I graduated from that elementary school. I moved back to South Carolina later in 2010, went to Westview Middle School for a time. I got suspended for making an inappropriate comment temporarily. Moved to James Island, into a duplex with some serious bedbug issues, which was
Oh my god, man. This guy's living in the squalor.
significantly reduced with some brown diatomaceous earth. All of this took place when we were in James Island between 2011 and 2012. During this time,
Me reading off my level 1 character's 500-page backstory. Oh my god, yeah.
I was in James Island. I then
Dude, he was at Little St. James. No.
went to Fort Johnson Middle School, got into trouble for having a mental breakdown at a bingo match because I lost, called my sister a bitch, and made her cry. One
Dude, he like literally crashed out at bingo, dude. Holy shit, that's crazy.
early morning, my brother made my mother cry because he didn't do the laundry. I maintained my composure for the rest of my middle school years, even when my brother had anger issues, and he has since been a reformed man ever since.
Okay, it kind of sounds like your brother went to prison. What happened? Why do you say it like that? You say it like your brother went to prison. What did your brother do?
And then we moved back to our grandparents' house. I got used to watching 200 classic cartoons on DVD throughout 2011 to 2013. I also got to watch old Christmas-themed or Christmas-related cartoons because at that time, I was completely unaware of what was going on in society, and I was a blind fan of Christmas. And speaking
Oh my god.
Speaking of blind, throughout my childhood, I was temporarily blind more than once, but my vision eventually cleared and I haven't been blind since. 2013 overall, on the other hand, was a shitty year where I did a bunch of stupid things and got into trouble.
I can't believe you went blind. Like like how does that even happen? What does that even mean? Is that like, is there something I'm missing there?
Many times.
Let's talk about the lengthy timeline / history of me being a teenage deviant and a somewhat massive degenerate from 2012 to 2017. My teenage years did not begin until I turned 13 in 2012 on May 7th, and the first ever round of degenerate / deviant moments in my teenage years was when I was up in Ohio during the summer vacation watching stuff that I should not really be seeing at all at that age, like Jackass, Jackass 2, Fritz the Cat, the 9...
Dude, Fritz the Cat totally is what unlocked that lizard part of his brain, okay?
Lives of Fritz the Cat, Coonskin from 1975. That
Excuse me, what the fuck did you just say? The fuck did you just say? A what skin?
featured Scatman Crothers and other films.
It's another film.
Like Tad, in which I shit you not showed a full set of tits at the center of the screen once. That's what I can clearly remember out of all this. And when my mom found out that I went to see Ted as a 13-year-old young teenager, she was pissed with my father and vowed almost never to allow me and my sister to go on a summer vacation ever again. Our last summer vacation was 2013, I shit you not. When we went back to South Carolina, my teenage antics started becoming more and more apparent, and by 2013, around February of that year, shit really hit the fan in my early teenage years. And this is a shocking admission coming from me. Somehow, for some random motherfucking reason that I can't even remember now, I somehow ordered 5 pizzas in my sister's name.
Well, it's nice to know that that behavior is still ongoing in Brian's adult life.
And the aftermath of that is where the pizza...
Dude, Brian's deviant behavior is ordering 5 pizzas in his sister's name. What a shame.
That
Oh, and I guess he saw tits in Ted.
were supposedly ordered were taken back. And by this point, my grandparents' house were to almost never receive any pizzas from Pizza Hut ever again. But months later, the relations with Pizza Hut and that house soon recovered. Throughout the year 2013, it has been one of, or if not the worst years in my teenage years. I remember either this year or 2012 where I went online secretly to AARP.com. Literally,
He went on to AARP.com. He went to go be on the old people website.
fill in a form with a fake name, use the same address and the same shit, but except the names are literally just me, just as a teenager, going on the keyboard and typing random letters. Instead of, John Doe or something like that, it sort of sounded like this.
Why are you on the AARP website? That's what I want to know. I don't give a shit if the spelling is weird.
It's just absolute gibberish at this point. And when my sister first received that and seen that from the mailbox, she was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? She began showing almost everyone in the entire house. She was laughing because the whole thing I did was retarded. Finishing out 2013 was a hell of a mess, even several months after my very last childhood summer vacation with my sister. And
Dude,
then,
whatever happened to him on this last childhood fucking vacation was one of the most traumatic, abusive years of his entire life, dude.
2014 came around.
On January 2nd, 2014, almost a decade ago, I began watching All Dogs Go to Heaven 2 and a female character.
Dude, this feels like this is fucking the longest story ever told, dude. Holy shit.
Caught my eyes, ears, and attention, and of course, that is Sasha LaFleur. I fell in love
Oh my god.
with a fictional character. Everyone who's a fan of any show or fandom like My Little Pony, being a furry, being a weeb, anime, can also share this kind of quote-unquote, I was cringe and fell in love with a character that's not real sentiment. Some of you out there are far more degenerate when it comes to writing fanfics or being an outright degenerate fan
This guy's got some really weird fucking hangups, and it comes through all the time, dude. This whole like degenerate fan fiction fandom thing, like he was clearly like ousted from fandoms or something. Doggy want boing boing.
I could ever be. Some of you are not as degenerate and or even tame. I recorded audio with my sister's big blue Nintendo DSi XL, and I only had 10 seconds to record once at a time. I was familiar with this recording format. I started watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off and watched other movies like The Watcher in the Woods. And the first trailer for it with this creepy, ominous, and suspenseful music with its off-putting climax.
The Watcher in the Woods.
I still have no idea where this music came from, even to this day. But when
What is this guy has so many. I literally don't think I can remember my life with as much detail as him. I actually can't, right? Like it's like this big blur of time. Okay? Where like fucking let me try and think. Okay. Fucking I went to preschool and then I went to kindergarten, and there was one time where a kid got his head stuck in like the wooden Noah's Ark. So they got rid of the entire Noah's Ark because he put his head in the window and it got stuck. Even though it would have been really easy to just cut the windows so they were bigger because it was made out of wood. I have core memories, but not in detail. Yeah. And then like nothing happens for like years until high school. Like outside of like a little bit of like funny anecdotes from Catholic school as like a child, all right, but like I can't remember the minute details of every single fucking vacation I went on. I don't understand that. Diesel was an NPC. Well, I was a quiet kid, right? Like, I didn't fucking get in trouble. I didn't act out. I never talked back, you know? Yet normal brains push unimportant stuff out to make room for new information. Fucking what? I was like 8th grade. We had the sex talk with a priest, so you can imagine how that goes. The priest was also like, most of the people in this room are going to hell. But these are all stories for another time.
Whenever I do, I will let you know in the comments or a community post, if you will. Later that year, we moved into and out of California.
Yeah, there were tons of things. The priest was like, he was really, when we got our current pope, he was really pissed because he was a really fundamentalist priest and he didn't like how this new pope was coming in and saying outrageous stuff like respect gay people. And he did not like that, right? And so it was basically him just like telling us his version of Catholicism. But even amongst the priests we knew, there was like a big varying difference, right? Like we had one priest who did work as an exorcist, and he was really nice, and he was actually really like cool with gay people. But then he left and he became a principal at another school. And this new guy comes in and he was like hella angry about everything all the time.
Yeah, within the span of...
I'm trying to think now of what else. I had a relationship for like 1 month with a chick in 8th grade. And we were both Puerto Rican. And I shit you not, the school principal at the time, who was like a new principal, she thought we were siblings because we were both brown. She thought all the brown students, there was 3 Puerto Ricans. I was the only male Puerto Rican in the school, right? And the principal, she thought I was related to all of them. So that happened. And I like kind of liked the girl I was with. I was in 8th grade, so I didn't really know what I was doing. And also I was highly susceptible to peer pressure because I was like a loser as a kid. And I was worried that my peers would ostracize me because the girl I was dating in 8th grade was like fat. So I broke up with her at a Barnes and Noble. I still keep in touch with her. I keep in touch with most of the people from my time back in like middle school because we all went to like most of my friends went from pre-K to fucking elementary to middle school to high school together, right? So I still keep in touch with a lot of them. She's, you know, a mom now, which is really fucking scary to think about, but like wild diesel lore tonight. It's true. I was super susceptible to what people thought of me. It took me until I became an adult to like get over that, right? Because that happened again in high school because I was so afraid of being ostracized. Because there were times when I was. Why Barnes and Noble? I don't know. We were just at a fucking Barnes and Noble. There's nothing to do in a suburban town, dude. Like, you just fucked. You're fucked for places to go and hang out as like a kid. I used to make cutout iterations of Sailor Moon characters to play with. Because there was no way in hell my family was going to spend more than $10 on a toy. Oh my god. I'm trying to think. What are some other? These are like core memories. Oh my god, I dated an 18-year-old in 8th grade for a couple of months. Thankfully, nothing happened. But as an adult, I realized that's kind of fucked up for them to have even asked me out. Oh my god. Yeah, in a suburban town, there's like nothing to do. The answer isn't do drugs, but that is kind of how it be, you know? Oh, you were reading that out loud, lol. Yeah, I was reading that. At least you had a Barnes and Noble. Well, dude, you remember Borders? Any of you are old enough to remember Borders? I hope so, dude. Holy shit. I grabbed copperheads with my bare hands instead of doing drugs. That's dangerous as fuck. Yeah, I used to like Borders more than Barnes and Nobles, and then Borders went out of business because Borders had a better manga section as like a young teenager. So I'd be like fucking 14 and I'd go to Borders and I'd read the manga. Anyone been to Sears? I hated Sears. We had like one mall in town too, and they had a Sears, and there was never anything interesting at a Sears. People talk about Sears like it was an important store at some point, but every time I went to it, I'm like, yep, this place is empty, and there's nothing in here that is fun. You know? Like, there was just nothing. You had a mall? Dude, it must be bad if you didn't have a mall. Yeah, dude, I just remembered clothes and washing machines. What's another one that was like Sears? Kohl's? I mean, Kohl's is still around, but Kohl's is a similar experience to Sears. You know? Diesel, the town I live in has 2,000 people. Jesus. Kmart? Dude, by the time I went into a Kmart, it was like dirty and like disgusting. So like when it left, I was like, I totally expected it to fucking vanish. Yeah, JC Penney's is also like Sears.
My childhood core memory is us raising money for charity, and our reward was our school principal would dress like a princess and drive a G.
Holy shit. Some of you are from middle America, and it shows. Diesel, I grew up in a town of 300 people. I went to a school in a cornfield. Yeah, none of our teachers or principals did anything fun like that in middle school or anything like that. Or like, or even really high school. High school, you got some more interesting teachers. Last time I was at a Kmart, the industrial lights fell and hit somebody's car. Dude, I like how it's like I try to remember core memories and it's just like, hey, you know, I was in a retail space one time. Oh my god. Yeah, I used to be a Boy Scout. That's another core memory, I guess, right? I was a Boy Scout, and so I used to sell popcorn for something. I don't know why the fuck we sold popcorn, honestly. I unironically have no fucking idea why we did that. Okay, but it was like overpriced, super expensive, and came in these metal tins, and nobody wanted it because you'd much rather buy a Girl Scouts cookies, okay? But it would be like chocolate covered popcorn and shit in like a big metal tin. And we would go to Boy Scout meetings, and I legitimately don't remember anything happening at them. It was boring. We'd go to one of the public schools because I'd go to school, I'd go home, I'm changed into my Boy Scouts uniform from my school uniform. So I changed from one uniform into another. And then we'd go meet with all the other Cub Scouts or whatever the fuck. And then we'd go home, right? And then we'd have meetings where there'd be like den meetings or whatever, right? And like the moms would just give us crafts. And we would just sit around and do that in like a library. And it was fucking boring. And I thought I was going to do cool nature stuff. But apparently you don't do cool nature stuff until you're like a fucking 14. And by then I was like, I'm bored out of my mind. There really was nothing to do, dude. We really got rid of the third place. It's crazy. Dude, Brian's life story has gotten so bad. I'm just talking about whatever the fuck happened when I was a boring child. The Girl Scouts was a scam. I got nothing from selling hundreds of boxes of cookies. Yeah, well, I got to buy cookies, and the cookies are delicious. My third place was opera stuff. Yeah, I don't even... Dude, the same people, it's insane. The same people I was going to school with in Catholic school were the same people I was going to Boy Scouts with. I was literally hanging out with the same people all the fucking time. I am so glad I went to a public high school because I actually got to meet people from different walks of life, okay? Instead of, like, middle-class Italians. My core memory with Boy Scouts was selling popcorn, but I was forced to do it on a day where one of my friends were having a Halloween
Anybody
party and
remember the
missing that
Boys
party.
and Girls Club? That's where I would hang out.
Wow, revoking the Italian card. Right? Well, okay, here's who moves out of the city first, right? So the WASP move out of the city first, and then once the WASP decided that Italians were white enough, Italians, Irish people, and Poles were allowed to move out of the city and into the suburbs, right? And then the Hispanics were allowed to move out. Yeah, if you don't vibe with someone, they're there all the time. Oh, shit. God. And then people wonder why I'm terminally online, because there was nothing to do. Well, chat. I think that's enough Bryan Mullins for today. We're just kind of yapping about life, so I think that's enough. You guys got a lot of Diesel lore today, okay? You got a lot of Diesel lore. How dare you? Oh my god. You guys remember fucking what is it? Those Scholastics book fairs? You know they don't do Scholastic book fairs anymore? It's fucking insane, dude. We don't encourage reading at all. It's wild. But yeah, that doesn't happen anymore. Doesn't really happen anymore. They were kind of a... Yeah, but, you know, if you're a kid, you don't get books anywhere now. But, yeah, I'm gonna fucking... Do they still do AR tests for reading? No, that stopped. They don't do that anymore. They don't really encourage reading at all, from what I'm able to see. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Good thing they're getting rid of the Department of Education. That's sure gonna help. What about the Pacer test? I think the Pacer test still happens. Yeah, I think I could ask. I'll find out.